Get the meeting channel pulled up here. All right, got that.
Don't forget to get the Bailey cam running.
No, actually, Bailey, I think it's in the summertime. So my office is upstairs in my house, and it's got 2 exterior walls and multiple windows. My office gets sweltering hot in the summertime. So bad that I remember all that graphics card issues I was having. It turns out it's because it's so hot in here. I actually took the glass off my case. I've got 2 fans blowing into my case from outside. Like it gets so hot up here. And Bailey he's abandoned me. He doesn't come in here anymore in the afternoons and evenings when it gets so hot. So no Bailey cam today. He has officially dumped us.
I think we're all going to riot now.
I know, right? All right, y'all just give me a second. I'm adjusting some volumes and some settings and getting the stream going. Testing 1, 2, 3. Everybody can hear me in the stream okay? Everybody get over there on that side. All right. One of you admins, give me a quick voice. I can see how loud I got my desktop audio.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing
1,
1, 2, 3.
You guys can hear them okay too?
Show me them feet. Show me them feet.
Holy crap. All right.
Could somebody
Everyone at
respond
one.
to Badass and tell him how to make himself a speaker? I'm sorry, Badass, I'm streaming my Discord, so I can't, otherwise our entire DM history will be there. And Jack doesn't want to know what you've been saying about him.
All right, so let's get going with this meeting.
Wait, there's
All right. Yeah, there's a meeting. So my volume okay on this mic, by the way? Everybody good?
Yep.
All right. So anybody, for those who don't know, we do a monthly server meeting for all 4 Zombieland servers. I go through a bunch of, basically I run my mouth for way too long. Let all my lead admins run their mouths a little bit. Let the admins run their mouths. And then we switch it over to the players, let them ask questions of us. And then I usually continue the stream and I'll go do a map preview of the new map and some other goodies while the admins are giving away prizes and stuff like that to you guys in game. So it's all a bunch of fun. Sounds boring, but you know, what other Rust server does that? So gives us basically a chance for us to get face-to-face time with you, the players, and you, the players, to get face-to-face time with us. So for those that don't know, I am streaming this on Twitch, which is also the only place you're going to be able to see the map preview and all that good stuff. So if you want to join the stream, if you're in Discord and Twitch, you can just mute one or the other, and that way you don't have to hear doubles of me. The link should have automatically posted in the general channel of Discord. Let's see if it happened yet. Yep, there it is. And if not, it's always in the links channel of Discord too. During the stream, I keep this meeting channel open right here. That way you guys can, people watching from the stream can see what people are saying. During the meeting, this meeting chat channel, you guys feel free to just talk, run your mouth, do whatever. Actually, Mac, you can turn slow mode off for right now. You guys can just shoot the shit, post memes, make fun of my voice, do whatever you want to do in this channel. Once the Q&A part starts, I ask that you guys all stop in this channel, the text channel, because that way I don't miss anything going by if there's questions and stuff like that. Save all your questions for the end, by the way. I really don't have the time or the focus to try to keep up with this chat channel. So especially with all the, memes and funny stuff floating by. So just save your questions till the end. I promise you, everyone will get a chance to ask a question that wants to, and multiple questions if you want to. Anyway, how many people we got that are new? Anybody new? Never been to a Zombieland meeting before? All right, we got all kinds of new people. Look at that. Jesus Christ. Tragic. Yeah, right, dude. Okay. By the way, I just saw Bill scroll by. Congrats to Bill. He is our top donator for the month of August. So congrats, Bill. He actually is pretty new here and made top donator. We bought some new plugins with some of Bill's cash, one of which I'll be showing off to you guys later on tonight during the stream. We got a neat new plugin we're working on configuring and getting all set up. So we'll see how that goes. It's pretty nifty, though. So yeah, congrats, Bill. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support. Not September. What was before August? What comes before August? July. July was a rough month for us. That's when we had to set up all the new boxes and deadies and stuff. It was a very expensive month for us. So We appreciate your support, Bill, and everybody else that helps donate and support the server, vet golds, all that good stuff. Your money gets put to good use. Maps, monuments, plugins, custom monuments, all kinds of fun stuff. So, and I'll be showing off some stuff to you guys tonight. Even a monument that I myself have been working tirelessly on. It's a server favorite, though. I promise you that. Anyway, so for those that are new, I'm T. I own the servers. Not really any background in this crap. I'll do the quick TLDR. Used to play Rust with my son. Got really sick of the server I played on and the admin abuse and the lack of any admin help or anything. The toxicity. My son was pretty young to be playing Rust at the time. So one day I got pissed off and Googled how to make a Rust server. And that was in May of 2019. Yeah, 2019. And I have not had a day off since. Here we are. Who knew? It took me about 3 months to even get 20 players. It's really hard to get a Rust server going, especially without having, without sucking on Shadowfrax's to get him to announce your server. So to do it on your own is pretty hard. It took me probably about 3 months to even get 20 players. And honestly, I think the success to the servers is basically all thanks to our admin team. And I don't mean that to throw the players to the side. The reason I think it's all because of the admin team is because our admins tirelessly work, and I don't mean me, I mean the other admins work tirelessly day in and day out to make sure that we keep all toxicity and just BS like that off of our servers, and to make sure that you guys always have some kind of solace in the fact that if shit hits the fan, even if it's the middle of the night and no admins are on, you know that we're going to wake up the next morning and take care of you. I really, honestly, and truly believe that those two things right there are what made us so successful and what made these servers blow up to the point where we had to have 4 servers instead of just 1. You guys know that you'll never have to be harassed. You'll never get called the N-word. Well, none of this stuff will happen more than once at least. It may happen once, but you'll never have to deal with any of that bullshit on our servers. And again, if our server, our map, or our plugins was in the wrong and caused you a loss, you know that we will always take care of you and help you. Again, emphasis on if it wasn't your own stupidity. If you do something stupid, no offense, but you're just shit out of luck. But I think you guys like the fact that we're always going to take care of you the best we can. So I think that's what made our servers so successful. So with that said, let's get on to the meeting. For those that are new, I just go down my list of notes that I basically take notes throughout the month of things I want to talk about. And then I pass it on to my admins. So here we go. All right. My first note is an easy one. When you message the support bot, please start it with the issue that it is. A random hello there or hi or I need help doesn't tell us anything. The support bot is basically your 911. When you call 911, the first thing you tell them is, help, I've been shot. I live at 123 Sesame Street. You tell them where you are and what the problem is. You don't call them and say, hey, how you doing? So please, you'd be surprised how often that happens. At least once a day, maybe a dozen times a day. People just put in a ticket and they say, hi there. Or they say, I need help. And then we have to ask them, what server are you on? What's your in-game name? Blah, blah, blah. While I'm touching on that subject, for those who don't know, if you go, and I'm going to do it right now live too so the stream can see it. If you go up to the channel called Server Info, you can click these little things down here. You can click those little reactions down there to pick main 1, main 2, light, or terminus. Those reactions will flag you with a role for those servers, which shows up to us in your support tickets. So if you open a support ticket and you have one of those roles, we already know what server you main on. So that's one step closer. The other step, now when I click this, I'm probably going to lose voice in Twitch. For some reason, Twitch doesn't like when I leave the window. If you right-click your own name in our server, of course I'm offline, so it doesn't help. I'm gonna right-click someone else's name because I have myself offline. So if you right-click your name and hit change nickname, if you hit that change nickname right there, it only changes your nickname in our Discord. It does not affect your Discord. It doesn't affect you anywhere else. It doesn't harm your Discord account. It doesn't change your name anywhere. It just changes it in our Discord. So if you do that and put your in-game name, now we have 2 steps already covered. So if you put a support ticket in and you already have your role selected and you already have your nickname changed, we now know your in-game name and what server you're on. And I'm going to tell you right now, when someone puts a ticket in, even if it's something stupid that I know I'm not going to end up helping you with in the long run, I'm already logging into the server that you're on, and I'm already teleporting to you before you've even finished explaining to me what the problem is. So if you guys would do those things for us, we're probably already going to be there before you get done telling us the entire problem. If you don't do those things for us, then we have to ask first. So please do those things. They don't cost you anything, and they're easy to do.
Help us help you faster.
Exactly. And man, I tell you what, you'd be surprised. For those who don't know, I'm a retired cop, and man, you'd be surprised how many times people call 911, help! Like, okay, what do you need help with? Are you on fire? Are you being robbed? We need to know what to send. So, yeah, you got to tell us. Okay. Moving on to the next one. There is no such thing as stealing a Bradley. Oh, that's funny. The next 2 notes are actually pretty much the same thing. So I'm just going to cover the whole thing at once. I didn't even realize they were the same until I noticed it, because one note is from Aliana, one's from me. There is no such thing as stealing a Bradley on our servers. There's also no such thing as stealing a heli on our servers. So I'm going to read a direct quote from our FAQ for known issues. One or the other. I don't remember where I got this from. I think it's in our FAQ. Someone stole my heli or Bradley. Wrong. This is not possible on our servers. If you call a person on heli to fight, it is locked to you. Nobody, unless they're in a team, can even damage it, nonetheless loot it. The public heli and Bradley are just that. They're public. They loot lock to whoever does the most damage. We used to do it just by who does the most damage, but now we do it by a threshold where once you breach that damage threshold, it locks to you so you could finish it. Because, once you get past a certain point, it should be yours. You've been doing most of the fighting. So anyway, they loot lock to whoever does the most damage. It is that way by design. We want the competition of players trying to outdamage each other for the kill. That is designed and intended. If you keep missing out on a kill to someone else, then do more damage to it, or recruit some friends to form a team, and then you can do more damage with them. If that still does not work, then see what that player is doing and learn from it. No player on our server has any abilities or tools that allow them to outdamage you other than their technique. So learn from it. That is the point of video games. You learn from those who do it better than you so that you can improve. Not trying to come off like an ass, but it's just BS. It's a game. It's competition. You're supposed to fight over those things. If you're shooting a Bradley and you miss a couple HVs, and then some other guy comes swooping in and he pops that thing with a C4 or 2, as you're trying to, you're trying to find a better vantage point, and he locks it to himself, well, you lost. That's just part of playing video games. There's got to be a loser. Well, I guess loser's probably not the best term for that, but you get what I'm saying. We like the competition, so please don't submit support tickets saying that someone stole your heli or your Bradley. We want you guys to compete over those things. This is not just a free get your loot PvE server. If anybody has any questions on that stuff, just hold it for the FAQ at the end and we'll get to it. Let me get back to the meeting channel. Sorry. So many memes. Yeah, just get good. That's pretty much the gist of it. All right, moving on to the next one. And if it makes you guys feel any better, like I couldn't lock if I was playing and we were all fighting over a heli, I couldn't lock a heli if my life depended on it. I'm so terrible at fighting the heli. Like you have no idea. So I mean, it's just part of playing video games. Figure out what you're good at, and then try to get better or move on to something else.
And ask people.
Ask. Yeah. Hell, even
it took me forever to be able to take Bradleys. I ended up having to ask players for help to sit there and figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I had players teach me how to take heli, and honestly, like zapping them, he's an ex-admin of ours. He used to like, hey, any players want to learn how to take heli? He would invite you to his own heli tower that he earned and built himself, not with admin stuff, and teach you how to fight a heli. I mean, there's people that'll do that kind of stuff. They'll help you fight it. They'll help you learn. People don't take it to be a dick. They take it because it's competition. That's what the point is. Okay, moving on. Oh my God, I wish I could like underline and capitalize and bold my voice. Stop storing everything you own in your main inventory. I'm going to repeat that again. Stop storing everything you own in your main inventory. There can be nothing dumber in this game on our server than that right there. You have a backpack that does not drop when you die. You have a base that cannot be blown up by some snot-nosed 12-year-old kid calling you the N-word. You have all these means of keeping your gear safe. And there's nothing on our server that requires 9 M249s and 10 rocket launchers and 400 C4 and all this other crap people claim that they lost when they die to something stupid. Stop storing everything you own in your main inventory. And the reason I keep saying everything you own is because every day we get a support ticket from someone. Help, a sniper NPC killed me and I can't get back to my body. I'm sorry, that's part of the game. We can't help you with that. That's not a glitch. Those snipers are meant to dome you from 100 meters away. Well, I'm just going to quit the server then because that was everything I owned. The entire wipe, everything I had was on me and I can't get it back, so I'm going to quit now. Well, goodbye. Like, I'm so sick of hearing that. I'm so sick of hearing that. And I'm not exaggerating. We hear this every wipe. Every wipe, somebody rage quits our server because they had, quote, everything they own for the entire wipe in their backpack. It happens every wipe. And I get so sick of hearing it because, A, first of all, that's BS. There's no way you had everything you own in your backpack or in your inventory. Second of all, even if you did, why was it in there? You have a backpack that will not drop when you die. Store everything in that. Pull out your gun in your armor and your weapon or your ammo. I mean, fight what you got to fight. You know, put stuff back in your backpack. So again, stop storing everything you have in your main inventory. If you die and you can't get your corpse back, which by the way, there is going to be a spot in a monument on the next map that has a big sign that says warning. If you die down there, you cannot recover your corpse, and that is by design. So you might want to heed my advice. Don't keep all your stuff in your main inventory. There is a spot on the next monument that is going to purposely make it so you cannot recover your corpse. Okay. Moving on. So that's pretty funny because my next note says, this is a video game. If you lose stuff, move on. All right, well, then we'll just move on. But no, in all seriousness, guys, it's just a video game. If you lose stuff, you lose stuff. We have people taking the Bradley and the heli the first hour of a force wipe. If people can do that, you can go 7 days into a wipe and quote unquote help. Everything I had was in my inventory and I lost it all, and you could still recover. There's just no way that you can lose enough stuff to warrant having to rage quit because you lost everything. It's just so easy to get stuff. Like, I mean, yeah, people in the first 15 minutes can be fighting Bradleys and helis. Like, there's no way that you can't recover from a loss, period. The problem is people get so mad, and honestly, I don't want to ramble about this, but it's so blatantly obvious when they do this, is they're almost trying to guilt us admins into just giving them the stuff, you know? Like, oh, blah, 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 it's everything I had. Oh, I have nothing left. Oh, I'm just going to quit the server then. And that stuff doesn't work with me. I've raised 2 teenagers. The guilt trip, reverse psychology shit, it just doesn't work with me. So, moving on. So, yeah, it does work with Aliana, but thank God I barely out overrule her. Just barely. Usually she spends most of her time bossing me around, but when it all boils down to it, I do get the final say every now and then. Okay, so my next note is pretty hilarious. I'm just going to read it word for word. Did I mention stop storing everything you own in your inventory? Okay, that was my next note. Okay, just making sure I mentioned that. Can you tell it's a major problem that we have to deal with? It's ridiculous. Okay, moving on. Oh, so why do we limit deployables and build sizes? It's not to be dicks. It's to help players be able to actually play. So we have a staff meeting for an hour every time we have a server meeting like this, where we talk about stuff we need to talk about. Let's just say that we just had almost the entire meeting discussing one topic, and it was almost to the point that we said, okay, we're gonna have to schedule another night to talk about this more. And that's the build sizes. I don't even know where we left off, Aliana, or how I'm gonna say this to these people, but I don't even know what to say here. We got to get these build sizes under control. And the reason, what I said during the staff meeting was I wanted to make sure I explained to the players why. Not what, but why. Because I always feel that all good leadership should not only tell you, not tell you what to do, but you get what I'm saying. Not only tell you what to do, but why you're doing it. Even as parenting with your kids, don't always tell them what to do. Sometimes you got to explain to them why. And I feel that is a good way to do leadership roles too. You should always tell people why you're trying to tell them what to do. So that's what I'm doing here is why. Why do we do this? Why do we tell you guys to stop building these giant castles? If we're going to make Z levels and stuff and make it so you can get so many resources, then why don't we let you build giant things? Because there is nothing in the world that causes more client-side lag. Notice I said client-side lag than player entities. Every wall you place, every tombstone you stick on the side of the road because you're bored, everything you put out in that world adds up. And there is nothing. Now, some entities are worse than others. Fires, lights, windmills, things with animation, stuff like that are definitely more impacting than, a stone foundation. But listen, the biggest headache we deal with as admins is new players coming to our servers. Oh my God, it's so laggy. And we're like, well, the server's not lagging. And I'm flying around. I've got a badass system here. I've got a really badass computer, and I've got my settings turned way down in Rust. My Rust looks like Mario Brothers. And I'm running an i9 9900K, 64 gigs of DDR4 and a 2080 Ti. And my Rust looks like Mario Brothers because I have everything turned so far down. Because I have to be able to get to those big giant bases without lagging out because I'm the admin. I got to be able to get there. But the point being is we get players logging in, oh, the server's so laggy. The server's a piece of shit. And then they leave. And if we argue with them, they're like, well, I was just on, Rust face zombie Z's 10 times and it was fine. I wasn't lagging there. Okay, the reason first of all, it's not lag. There's a big difference between lag and frame rate and all that crap. The player entities, the player builds, these giant bases with windmills all over them and all these, giant compounds, those are client-side lag. That would be basically your computer is trying to render all that bullshit and it is just choking on it. It's not server lag. The server's running just fine. But it's the point being, it doesn't matter what it is. The point isn't what it is. The point is it's causing players to not have a good time on our server. It's causing players to be miserable and it's causing players to leave. They think, because players don't know all this technical stuff I'm discussing right now. They just know, hey, my shit's lagging. It wasn't lagging on the other server I just came from. I'm going to go back there. And that's not fair because our server doesn't lag. We've got great equipment. The problem is these people are building exactly like what you see in that picture there. They're building stuff that is just obscene. And it's causing people to lag. And then not only are they doing that, but they're doing it on top of each other too. You got these clans that want to build these giant compounds. And they're like, well, we want to be in a central location to all the monuments. So they build right in the dead center of the map where everybody else has built their bases. And now literally you could be flying along in a minicopter and all of a sudden your computer's literally going to jump out of your window in real life because you try to render in all this bullshit. Like your computer's going to sprout legs and just jump out the window. It's just not fair. And so I wanted to explain to you guys why we're such assholes with the build stuff. We're not assholes because we don't want you guys to build big. Believe it or not, the only thing I ever got in trouble with an admin for when I was a player on other servers was my build size. I built this giant castle. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So trust me, I know. And I was a solo player. The whole castle was fucking empty. I had like a workbench and a bed. And it was like a 400 foundation castle. I couldn't figure out why this admin was being such a jerk and making me tear down some of my castle. I was so pissed off. But now I'm on the other side of that and I see why. Because now I got to deal with 10 different reports of, oh, server so laggy, this server so laggy. And no, it's not. You're just in the middle of the map. There's 400,000 player entities around you because everybody had to build these giant compounds. And now you're lagging. So guys, gals, everybody, please get the builds under control. I'm all for you guys building these giant bases, especially when it's getting close to PvP time. You really got to start fortifying stuff. I'm cool with that. I know I've been there. I've been that player. But at the same time, you got to be considerate of the rest of the server. It's not fair to lag everyone else out, because you want to have this giant compound. And then admins, we have this X-ray thing that we can do where it turns off all your walls and stuff. And we can just literally see the guts of your base and nothing else. So I'll fly and see this giant compound. Like there's one on main one right now, actually. This giant compound. And when I turn on my X-ray, there's nothing in it. There's literally like a couple mixing tables, a workbench, and some beds right in the dead center. And then like the other 7,000 foundations are just empty. It's so pointless. It's so pointless. And the problem we have is this, and this is what we've been discussing in the staff meeting all night, and we probably still have to have another staff meeting to discuss, is there's no question about it. Nobody likes having to deal with this. We as admins don't like being mean to the players. Oh, you got to tear some of this down. It's too big. We don't like doing that at all. First of all, it stresses us out. It gives us anxiety. We juggle that shit behind closed doors. Who wants to deal with this one? Nobody wants to. It's like drawing straws. We don't want to do that at all. We hate doing it. We don't like being mean to you guys. Honestly, I don't even like wasting my time doing this shit. We know it pisses the players off. Even if they're polite and they say, fine, I'll tear some of this down. We know it makes them mad. And we know eventually they're probably going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to go to a different server where they don't tell me I can't do that. But, you know, we're a full server. We have a queue. We can't have these giant builds lagging everybody out. It's just not fair, especially in the dead center of the map. So we don't like doing it to you guys. We know it upsets you. We know it pisses you off. We know it probably drives some of you to play on other servers. But at the same time, we can't hinder everybody's gameplay because you want to build a 600 foundation base, you know, just for 2 foundations worth of stuff. And it's not a yeah. Jump in.
Yeah, so I'll just say this. So we have had a lot of conversation about how can we best define this to you guys. I mentioned it in the last meeting. I know that those of you guys who attend every single one of these, you're probably tired of hearing about this just as we are tired about talking about it. It's hard for us to define it. If we really wanted to sit down and set hard limits on every single thing, I promise you it would be a disservice to every single one of you guys. The fact that it's not so defined is actually in your favor because it allows you guys to have a little bit more flexibility rather than a rigid, oh, you get to have 6 foundations, you get to have 12. And we don't want to count 6 and 12 foundations on every single player's base. So what we've tried to do is kind of put some guidelines together. I know our examples in our Discord are a little bit dated, so we're working on getting all of that updated, and we're going to work on having a lot more clear defined guidelines in one spot rather than the word of mouth that you might get when you just happen to have an admin talking to you. I'll give you some of those information, some of those right now, just because we've discussed them enough that most of our players know it. If you're new, you probably don't. China walls, which is when you have a foundational level wall that's built up with actual like walls, stone walls or metal walls or whatever, and it's too thick, we don't allow that. If you want to use China walls for your PvP build, you can put the foundations down, and then in the 24 hours leading up to PvP, you can raise those walls up. So if you want to put the foundations down early, that's fine. Multi-TC builds, that's relatively the same. If it's something that's going to be sprawling, keep the outer part of it down on a foundational level until much closer to PvP day. I know that takes time to wire turrets, and sometimes you can't get it done in a 24-hour period, but we're going to be a lot more willing to deal with your large build if it's on the ground and not taking up a bunch of useless entities. Same thing with the you know, external gates or any kind of extra walling on the outside, double walling your compound in. Save it towards closer to PvP day. By the time PvP day rolls around, a lot of our influx of the fresh white players that we get have faded away. The purge has run and people's bases have either gone abandoned or been purged off of the map. And we have a little bit more wiggle room with entities and less time to have to deal with them if it's too laggy in that area. Other things you can do is if you're planning on building big, do it outside on the edges of the map. Less players having to load your stuff is better. So if you're next to like launch, don't build a giant compound. I know you're looking for flat land and sometimes that's where the flat land is, but consider the fact that anybody who runs through launch also has to render in your building, your 800 rugs, and everything else. You know, the deployable limits are there because of what T said, and it's just in your best interest to keep it simple until you absolutely need it. If you want to have a big build and you're planning on having all these things in 5 days, do it in 4 days so that you can build it up on the 5th. And that picture that Kenny posted is an actual picture where I had to sit down and count foundations, and that makes us crazy. None of us like doing it. Please just keep that in mind. We'll do better to try to define it for you while also trying really hard not to be super restrictive, because we know that it makes things not fun when you have to be told you can't do that.
Also, as a small heads up, we are adding a couple of things to our deployables. Sorry for those party goers, but dance floors, laser lights, those are going to be in our deployable limits because those are getting out of hand a little bit, and those will also just murder people's machines.
All right, we ready to move on to the next? Just ultimately keep your builds under control, please. You're just lagging other players. It's not fair to them. If an admin comes and talks to you about your build, look, we are just as upset about it as you are. We don't want to be mean. We don't want to hinder your gameplay. We don't want to drive you away from our server. We love all our players equally. We're just trying to protect other players so they can play. Just remember that. Okay, moving on to the next. Did I mention stop storing everything you own in your inventory? Okay, moving on to the next. Actually, I gotta.
Actually, I'll touch something real quick while you're looking, T.
Okay.
For those that don't know it and haven't been here, all the admins, we loathe windmills to the point where we made it so you could buy test gens in town. Test gens, for those who don't know what those are, they provide you right now, because unless Facebook changes it, they provide you 3 outlets with 100 power each. So you don't have to build a skyscraper to put a windmill on to get 100 power, maybe 120 power, maybe. You can put a nice little test gen neatly in the corner of your base. You could do this one of 2 ways. You could either use paper to buy it, or if you start finding those windmills, you could trade those windmills in for the AAA looking batteries in game. So if you get those AAA looking batteries, hold on to them. Those then can be traded into town for test gens. So all of those, windmills that you may all of a sudden put on top of your house to, wire up all those turrets, instead you could have a test gen in the middle of your base, protected by the entirety of your base, so someone can't just blow up a windmill and, ruin your, defenses.
All right. So, my next note just says this is getting ridiculous, and it has this screenshot. That was like right at the start of a wipe, and it was only going to go up from there. So that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. There's just no need for that much space taken up. And notice the location, right in the dead center of all the populated areas. So, and yes, the base only went straight up from there. So again, we hate to be mean. I used to build crap like that too when I was a player, but come on, guys, let's keep it reasonable. This next note, I think this is from Insect, actually. With the new dance DLC being all the rage, keep it within reason, or we will have to enforce a hard limit. Yeah, we found a base that had 10 to 15 or 10 by 15 dance floors. So that's what, 150 dance floors and 40 lasers. 4T, 40. That's just getting ridiculous. Like I said, the 3 things that lag people out the most are motion and light, and of course, like effects. Like trees blowing in the wind type effects. So yeah, 150 dance floors and 40 lasers is freaking ridiculous, and was lagging people out that got anywhere near it. So come on, guys, please. We don't want to put them on the put more stuff on the deployable limits. Honestly, we didn't. I voted for no deployable limits back when they first were discussed. I didn't even want them at all, but we definitely had to have some. So please keep it within reason. It's a scary sign when your dog looks over his shoulder and then jumps up and runs. Like, somebody in my house? Or I should be home alone right now. All right. So, moving on to the next note. Oh, yeah. So there's some sort of elusive... now, when he farts, he smells his own butt. It's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my life. He's like, huh? What was that? Where'd that come from? So there's some sort of bug going on right now with the Prevent Looting plugin. This is the thing that stops people from looting you or your boxes and stuff like that. look, I'm gonna tell you right now, no shit. We have probably tested this 100 times, 100 times easily, with players, with admins, with every situation we can come up with. TC radius, non TC radius, blah 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 blah. We've tested every way we can, and our reproduction of this bug has been 0%. Zero. Hundreds of tests. We've never been able to replicate this bug. Period. We've never got a recording of anyone having it happen. We've never had a witness of anyone having it happen. All we've had is, hey, I logged in and somebody took my guns off my body. So obviously there's some kind of bug out there. The first couple reports were like, get the hell out of here. It was one of your teammates. But after we, we've probably had almost like maybe 6, 7, 8 of them now, total.
I think it's like in the 6-ish range, 7.
Yeah, probably about 6, maybe 6 reports of this now. So that gives it a little credibility. But there's two things to say here. One, I don't remember who it was that got rude with me and said, fix your plugin. Like, one, it's not my plugin. Most plugins aren't my plugin. I'm an ex-cop. I don't have plugin development skills. I can't force developers to fix their plugins, especially if I have no data to give them. If I told the guy, hey, people were able to loot stuff. Well, can you tell me the situation? Well, I don't know. I've never seen it happen. Well, have you tested it? Yeah, and it works perfectly. What am I supposed to tell the guy? How do I tell him to fix his plugin if I can't even tell him what's happening? So, it's not my plugin. It's just, we don't even have a way to troubleshoot this. We can't reproduce it. We've tried a million times with players. So it's not just, because you're admins type thing. We've tried with players. We've tried with everything on every server we have. We cannot reproduce this. And Dot Hacker's nailing the nail right on the head for my point number 2. We cannot reproduce this whatsoever. But point number 2, if you lock your shit, you wouldn't even have a chance to test the bug. Again, 6 times it's been reported. We have 1,300 players on average per 10 days. So every 10 days, 1,300 people play on our server, and we've only had 6 people report this happening. So it's obviously a very elusive bug. But again, that would be 0% if you locked your shit.
Everybody comes in and has played this game, probably at least vanilla at some point. So you're used to going, shit, they got an open window. Let me go jump in. They got a this, they got a that. Don't leave your shit open. Put window bars up. Things like that. Protect yourself. We can only do so much, and we have no logs. Zero logs of anything that players touch.
Yeah, the Rust doesn't log that stuff.
Yeah, other than to say, so-and-so finished a raid base. So-and-so killed a Bradley. So I have, so when you guys are, when we get tickets that come in and say, hey, can you check the logs to see, where my stuff went? We have no clue. And it's not by lack of wanting them. It's by the lack that FacePunch doesn't put any of that in, because that would be a huge file.
Yeah, it would crash servers if they tried to log everything you touch. So anyway, like I don't know how to pronounce Khuli, Khuli. Like he just said in the chat, make your base like it's vanilla. Lock your shit. As a matter of fact, we paid money to have a plugin developed where you could put code locks on things you're not even supposed to put code locks on, like furnaces and stuff. So you can literally lock all your shit. So, yeah, I know what Khuli is in Spanish. I just didn't know if that was the pronunciation of the way you spelled it there. So yeah, lock your shit, guys. That's gals, guys, whatever. Lock it. There's no reason for your stuff to ever be stolen. Sorry, I was reading the chat there. Yeah, there's no reason for your stuff to be stolen. Lock your stuff. Again, I'm pretty sure our chat spams that. Don't trust plugins. Always lock your stuff. But I'm just going to say it again here. Lock your stuff. If you lock your stuff, there's no chance of, if I unloaded that plugin completely, your stuff would still be safe. So, lock your stuff. Did I mention don't store everything in your own inventory?
Can I add just one little thing on the back of that?
Of course.
So in addition to the whole like lock your stuff thing, be mindful about where you log out. We've noticed or had reports we can't substantiate about things killing you through walls because your feet are sticking out. We had one incident where zombies threw grenades through someone's open window. If you're not using like the full sheet metal window, the one that has like the glass in it, log out in a closed room, away from a wall. Just keep that in mind, and like T-Bird said, if it's publicly accessible, it needs to be locked. And you can / remove anything on the server. If you don't have your perfect base up in one day, like I regularly do this, I just make a little loot room and put everything in there, and then later on I put it where it needs to go. Just make sure everything's behind a lock before you log off, and not even just before you log off, but before you go farm more wood. I've seen people have their entire bases leveled because they built it with twig while they went to go get wood for a TC. So just keep that in mind.
Also keep in mind, a random Bradley shell, a random helicopter napalm rocket, a random zombie throwing a C4, stuff can go through your windows or through open holes in your walls or roof or whatever and kill you. And then you're going to log in and be pissed off like, oh, you don't have a log of everything I had on me? No. But why were you sleeping next to an open window on the side of a road where you know a Bradley's going to drive by? So just, 99.9% of the issues players have with their stuff missing or themselves dying offline like that is player carelessness or recklessness. We always said, as police, a majority of victims made themselves a victim. And I'm not saying, victim blaming, or I'm not saying, you asked to be robbed or whatever. No, but when you make yourself wide open to that kind of stuff, you're making yourself a victim. If you leave the front door of your house open and someone comes in and steals everything while you're out of town, then yeah, they still committed a crime. And yeah, I still think they're a loser piece of shit for stealing your stuff, but it kind of falls on your shoulders for leaving your front door wide open while you went on a beach vacation to Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like, so come on, let's take some responsibility, play responsibly, lock your stuff, secure your stuff, keep yourself safe. Again, don't make yourself a victim. So moving on. Where am I on this list? There we are. Discuss China walls. I guess, did we already touch? I swear I heard someone say something about China walls. Okay, so we already discussed China walls. Keep them down. We don't want stupid China walls. Did we mention the 24 hours up to PvP, Eliana?
Yes, sure.
Okay, cool. All right, next to the next one here. Discuss for the 50th time node spawns and how leaving stone behind does not cause less metal and sulfur to spawn. Like, holy Christ, people, how many times do we have to go over this urban legend? So, please stop yelling at players that skip stone nodes. I've seen it in chat, and I literally facepalm myself so much I probably got a red mark on my forehead. I'll see people screaming at somebody, "Oh, you idiot! You're leaving stone nodes behind. Now we're not going to have any blah." No, that's not how this works. You can skip the stone nodes and the metal and sulfur. Yes, this is still an issue, Steve Dave. Believe it or not, the stone, the metal and sulfur are still going to spawn. There is a population amount, a fixed population amount of every type of node on the map. And when you mine a sulfur node is going to spawn somewhere else like 15 minutes later or whatever the spawn time is on nodes. If you mine a stone node is going to spawn 15 minutes later somewhere else on the map, blah, blah, blah. So mining a certain type of node does not cause a less of another type of node to spawn. That's not how this works. I know it's an urban legend. I've seen it even, from some of the most veteran Rust players in the world. That's not how this works. Yeah, it may have worked like that in the past. Maybe that's why it's such a big urban legend. Also, just for those who don't know, I have an explanation of where nodes spawn. I think it's either in the FAQ or the known issues. I forgot which one I posted it in, but there's a pretty detailed explanation there. Give me 1 second. I have to check something because I've got a ton of DMs, but one of them is from an important person. Let me make sure there's nothing going on here. Hold on 1 second. Because there's multiple, so it kind of scares me. Yeah, okay. Nothing important. Oh, God. All right, moving on. So I got to find my place. Oh, got to turn the page. All right. Explain for the 27th time the difference between support bot and sentinels. Okay, for those who don't know, there's two bots in the top right up there you see, support bot and sentinel bot. Sentinels are just players. Matter of fact, we are pretty short on sentinels right now, so if any veteran players that really know our server well and have been here for a while want to volunteer, our best sentinel, Quetzal, is a complete slacker and never answers tickets anymore, so we could use a couple more sentinels. For those, I'm just kidding, Quetzal, it's okay. For those who don't know what a Sentinel is, it's literally just players that have been on our server for a really long time and have heard me say all the same shit for meeting after meeting and know most of the answers. That's all they are. They don't have any powers. They don't have any titles. They don't have anything special. They're just players that volunteer to help answer questions that you may not know but don't need an admin for. On the opposite side of that, support bot is where you send to admins. Now, we have two different issues on two different sides of the spectrum. On one side of the spectrum, we got people sending messages to Sentinel bot saying, help, this guy is literally screaming the N-word at me in voice and he's trying to destroy my twig and blah, blah. Okay, well, a Sentinel can't do anything about that. That needs to go to the support bot. But then on the other end of the spectrum, we got people that are like, oh, I was too scared to put a ticket into the support bot because it's not a dire emergency, but this I found a hole in the map. Okay, well, it still has to go to an admin because a Sentinel is just a player. They can't fix a hole in the map. So if it's anything an admin needs to answer or handle, even if it's minor, even if it's something that you're like, hey, you can put this off for 2 days, just wanted you to know about this, that's fine. Send it to the support bot. You're not going to make us mad. You're not going to bother us. If it's something an admin or a staff member needs to know, send it to support bot. If it's something that just you have a question, nobody's answering your question in chat, but you really don't need an admin, send it to the Sentinels. And hopefully Quetzal will get off his butt and answer it. All right, moving on. I keep losing my place here. Oh, here we go. This also kind of relates to that last topic. Stop with the admin help in chat. If you can't use a support bot, we can't really help you. For one, it doesn't tell us anything by screaming admin help. For two is you never know which admins are on which server and which ones are in the middle of doing something. Like there'll be times that you guys probably see me bounce between servers all the time. And a lot of you, hey T, and I don't even say hi to you. It's because, look, I'm logging in. You know, when I'm doing stuff on these servers, now that we have 4, I got to do it times 4. So in other words, when I activate Power Hour, there's a lot of steps I got to do on the server. Then I got to go to another server and I got to do it 4 times. So just because you see an admin on or you saw me type something in chat doesn't mean I'm available. Doesn't mean I'm not busy. If you send it to support bot, that's like our dispatch system. You know, Mac, he may be in the map editor, not even in Rust, but he's just bored to tears working on a monument. Meanwhile, I'm killing myself, but I'm on the server. So you're like, oh yeah, I'll just scream admin in chat because I saw T type in a second ago. No, I'm busy. If you put it in a support bot, someone who's not busy could have jumped in and helped you. You see what I'm saying? Just please go through the support ticket system. It's there for a reason. Screaming admin in chat does nothing to get you any help. Well, except trigger the bot to tell you how to get help. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Oh, this guy's perma-banned now anyway. I guess it doesn't really matter, but please do not try to pull a fast one on us. We are not stupid. As you all know, I'm a retired cop. It doesn't make me smarter than you. It just means I spent a lot of time sniffing out people's bullshit. Bill, yeah, you know where I'm going with this one, right? So we had a player that was going to try to scam us, doing the whole main 1 to main 2 switch. Decided to find somebody who had very high Z levels, and I mean very high Z levels. I don't know what Gav Bo was talking about. Anyway, so tried to scam us by taking a screenshot of that person's Z levels, which were extremely high, and using it as his own screenshot to try to get Z levels moved over to main 2, when in actuality his Z levels were like 4, 6, 4. Come on, man. First of all, we have data files that show us your actual Z levels at all times. Like, it's not like we just, like, all we have to go by is a screenshot, and that's the only data we have. It's just easier to look at a screenshot than it is for me to go pull the data files. But come on, we're not stupid. Anyway, that guy's been permanently banned. The funny thing was, too, is when I called him out on it, all I wanted was an apology. But instead, he decided to start cussing me out and tell me, fuck you and your server, and you're going to lose all this money from me now. By the way, all he had was veteran gold. And should I at least tell some of the story? It was pretty funny. So I don't know. Okay, so some of you veteran players know if you really piss me off, which there's only a couple ways to do, harassing females, throwing money in my face, like, oh, I donate, you owe me this, like, you know, that kind of shit. That kind of stuff pisses me off. Racism, that really pisses me off too. So there's only a couple things that really piss me off. But so he starts throwing money in my face, like, "Oh, you're such an idiot. You're gonna lose this." First of all, he said, "I'm a vet gold, and I was planning on doing vet gold for a full year. And if you do the math on that, me buying vet gold every month for a year is $150 that you're gonna lose now." Well, first of all, there's more than 10 months in a year. Second of all, so he starts throwing the $15 in my face, like, how dare you? This is the guy I called out for cheating, trying to cheat his Z levels, by the way. So he's like, blah, 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 money, fuck you and your server's stupid, you're going to fail, blah, blah, blah. And I told him I was like, I will wipe my ass with a $20 bill and literally record it for you and send you the video. Tell me your email address.
In 4K. In 4K.
Well, yeah, then he starts cussing me more and more. And I'm like, bro, I got a Hero 9 GoPro. I will record me wiping my ass with a $20 bill in 4K and send it to you. And he was like, blah, 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 fuck you. Yeah, that's when he said the whole year thing. Well, that's a year you're going to lose. That's $150. I said, fine. I will wipe my ass with 2 $100 bills and send you the video of it. Please give me your email address. So anyway, long story short, he got permanently banned. And he never did want the video of me wiping my ass with the $100 bill. Which I'm glad, because I really couldn't afford to wipe my ass with a $100 bill, but it sure sounded good.
The funny thing is, the amount of money he was trying to steal from you would have taken him 2.5 years to pay back with just vet gold.
Right? So it's pretty hilarious. And again, even after all that, all I wanted from him was to say, you know what? I was trying to scam you, and I'm sorry. I won't do it again. That's all I had to say. All he had to say. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a whole different topic than the Z-level thing. On our servers, to actually get permanently banned, you have to put so much effort into it. Beefy. You have to put so much effort into being permanently banned on our servers that you really have to try. All it takes is an apology. I'm married to a black woman, and I had someone scream the N-word at me in-game, and believe it or not, got himself unbanned by me. He apologized. He swore he wouldn't do it again. And he was sincere. He even pulled me into voice and deeply apologized. And I unbanned him, like, for calling me the N-word. Like, so it's really hard to get banned on our servers permanently. Just let that be a testament to it. This guy was trying to literally cheat us, and I still was going to let him, out of it if he would have just apologized. So anyway,
we've had the absolute worst person on our servers banned for anything, which was he threw 80 plus airdrops to try and crash the server, and we unbanned him 6 months later because he at least was sincere enough to apologize.
And when we say crash the server, he literally said, "Watch this, I'm going to crash the server." Like, we weren't just guessing. Yeah, the planes that come from airdrops do, which is why we make our airdrops just spawn on the ground now. And no, nothing about money does anything with me. I know you're just joking with the whole comment about send T $100 to get unbanned or whatever, but no. We've banned our top donator in the past. The server was never made for money.
I banned the top donator. That was hilarious.
Yeah, so we don't play that crap around here. This server was never made for money. We love our donations. It lets us keep buying more fun stuff for you guys to do. But it was never made for money, and I really don't care. I've got a full-time job. I've got a wife with a full-time job. I'm not here to make money. So I'm just here to give you guys a fun place to play. All right, let's move on to the next one. What's a job? Let's see. Oh yeah. So there's no need to gang up on people in chat when they're having to deal with admins. This does nothing but back them into a corner, which ends up in a result much worse than was probably originally intended. While we do appreciate you all having our backs, there's no need to form a mob. We got this. So, yeah, this is kind of like there's like two sides to this. Because on one side, I'm going to tell you guys right now, you guys choke me up. When I'm in chat and I'm dealing with somebody being a jerk or whatever, or any admin, not just me, and you guys all just jumping up to the defense of the server, like, screw you, guy, this server's the greatest, and this server's not lagging, you just don't know how to set your settings, you guys, or whatever. The point being is, you guys always have the admins, not just me, all the admins' backs. We really do love that. Like, I'm not even kidding. It chokes me up in real life sometimes when I see that. But on the flip side of that coin, we got to stop it. The whole mob thing, all that's going to do, so if I'm dealing with a player with a shitty build or something, and he's getting kind of rude about it, Just let us handle it. Let us handle it. Because if everybody jumps on them, the resolution is going to be negative, period. So any chance we had of turning that guy around to where he's like, you know what? Okay, that's cool. No big deal. I'll change this or change that is all out the window now, because now the whole server jumped on him. He doesn't want to play here anymore. So while I deeply appreciate it, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, I deeply appreciate how much you guys stand up for us. We got to stop the whole mob thing, jumping on people like that. Just, when you see admins dealing with something in chat, and by the way, I make my admins deal with things in open text so that we have record of it instead of using voice. So when you see us dealing with something in chat like that, just keep quiet. If you want to send me a PM, like, yeah, man, we got your back, that's fine. I'm cool with that. Just please don't start mobbing up on somebody in chat like that. It's just going to drive the player away anyway. So, all right, moving on to the next. I'm sorry I got so many tonight, man. Busy one.
On that topic too, though, if someone else is having problems, like a player, like just don't mob people. Even if it's not an admin dealing with someone, just don't mob on them. It makes all of us look bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, because we brag about how great our community is here, so we don't want to show an ugly side to it.
Trust me, we can handle ourselves, I promise.
Yeehaw. Yeah, and the Boomstick says,
just
hold
watch
my
people
beer,
rate a
shit's about to
base.
hit the fan. All right, moving on to the next one. Why we have deployable limits and building restrictions. Oh, yeah, so,
You already covered this one.
yeah. Let's just say 10 hours into wipe, we had a group that had 16 bases already. So please, control your builds. 16 bases 10 hours into the wipe is a little too much. All right, moving on to the next one. So, okay, we got some positive ones to touch on now instead of negative. So we always, with our suggestions channel, I meant to touch on this. There's actually 3 notes in one here, so I'm going to touch on all 3. Our suggestions channel is not just for, actually, most people use it for stuff that it's not for. It's not for new plugins. We're not taking any suggestions for new plugins, and we're not taking suggestions to make the server easier. So if one of those 2 things were it, go ahead and scratch that out the window. But our suggestion channel, believe it or not, some of the things you may not have thought of as suggestions, it actually is for. One would be funny or even serious Zombot suggestions. So, and I mean that for real, funny and serious ones. As you guys know, I've got Zombot programmed to be pretty smart ass and pretty funny. And at the same time, though, when it comes down to real questions, he answers a lot of those too. When is wipe, stuff like that. If you guys have any suggestions for Zombot, it's real easy to program him. Yeah, right, Nivix, I wish. Believe it or not, all Zombot takes is the trigger words and then responses. So he can have as many trigger words as you want, but they got to all be there. So like, for instance, one set of trigger words is when and wipe. If you have the word when and the word wipe in your sentence, then it's going to trigger him. And then the responses is he actually shuffles. If you have more than one response programmed into him for that trigger, then he'll just randomly pick one. So in other words, if you type love, you, and bot in any kind of sentence, that's the cool thing about these trigger words is they can be within any kind of sentence and it'll still trigger him. But if you have love, you, and bot in the same chat, then it'll trigger one of his funny I love you responses. And you notice there's more than one response. So you guys are more than welcome to suggest funny ones and serious ones, though. If you see a question that's constantly getting asked in chat and you're having to answer it, put a suggestion in and say, hey, I'm always having to answer this question in chat. Maybe you should put these couple trigger words and have this response. If you have a funny one, like I've got one, if you say Hodor, then bot says hold the door. It can be simple, funny ones like that even. So if you have any kind of suggestions for Zombot, man, feel free. It's real easy to configure. I have no problem adding more funny Zombot stuff. And honestly, I think our players love Zombot. I think he's hilarious. So you got to hit the right trigger words. Sometimes, if you misspell one, the trigger words are not case sensitive. And they can be wild card or not wild card. And what I mean by that is, for instance, if I can make the word love in the whole I love you Zombot one, I can make the word love to where you can't have any other word on it. So like if you type the word lovely, that wouldn't work. Or I can make it wild card where as long as it has LOVE, doesn't matter what comes before it or after it, it'll work too. So they're real. The triggers are real dynamic on how we can do them. They're real nice. So feel free to throw suggestions in for Zombot. We always are open to those. Also, on that same note, the /PC titles. If you have better idea for funny titles, some of them are kind of lame. Like Antico is the one you kill the cobalt scientist, so it's Antico. I'm not that fond of that one. But we didn't really have any ideas at the time. The PC stuff, there are some guidelines to that. We need them to be pretty short because we already have too many titles as it is. They have to be kind of like one word type stuff. We don't really go for multiple word ones because it's just a title. But if you have cool suggestions for any of the PC titles, throw them into the suggestion bot. We're all about that one. So feel free. We're not the most creative people in the world, and we got hundreds of players here that might have better ideas than we do. We're all for it. As for picking the titles, if you have a suggestion about the order of importance of the titles, I'm open to those too. The way they work right now is every title in the config file has a priority. And the higher the priority it is, that's what the title gets shown. So if you have like 3 different titles, it's just going to show the highest priority one of the 3 you have. So if you have a better idea of which order to arrange our titles in to have better priority, I'm all for that too. Feel free to submit suggestions. But just don't do them right here in this chat because I'm not paying attention to this right now. And no, there's no chance you could just pick one. That's not the way the plugin is written. We also take suggestions for the death messages and the kill messages. I like to change those up all the time. So if I'm definitely open to suggestions for those. Like used to be like testified against the Clinton when you committed suicide. Now I think it says doesn't like RP or Z levels. Stuff like that. Like a zombie tried to eat the brains of such and such and nearly starved to death. Stuff like that. If you have cool death messages, feel free to submit those. We're all about those suggestions too. Moving on. Oh, this is somebody else's note. Isn't this one someone else's? The terms and conditions thing here?
That was me.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and do that one?
I can't tab over to it, but
Oh, okay. I'll read it.
Okay.
I've got it printed. So
Okay, yeah, I don't have it in front of me.
I'll let you elaborate. How about that? Okay, there isn't a terms and conditions to playing on our server. Just because something's not in /info doesn't mean the admins are responsible for course correcting it, especially when regular gameplay provides you the clues you need to work it out for yourself. If you think /info is lacking, feel free to use the suggestions channel.
Yeah, I forget specifically what it was. It was something about
Stability and raid bases.
Yeah, there's some gotchas to playing on this server. I always talk about every meeting about how the first wipe I was here I recycled my paper. And I read all the info. I read the whole Discord. I read everything, and I still recycled my paper because there's just so much to learn. There's going to be knowledge gaps and everything else. And this goes a lot back towards what T was saying earlier, which was, these kinds of things in gameplay, they just happen. Putting a ticket in because you had something go differently than you thought it was going to go, my heart does go out to you guys. It really does. But, it's not our responsibility to fix things for you guys that are regular gameplay things or things that you could have inferred from regular gameplay. For the stability one, for anybody who doesn't know this, always bring a hammer when you raid. Always bring a hammer. But if you had a hammer, you can tell, this door that looks like it's wood is actually metal, or this door that looks like it's metal is actually wood, or this block is at 100 foundation, or 100 stability, even though I just cut the foundation out from underneath it. There's clues to playing in the game, and there's ways to learn how to play the game, and it's not always going to be something that admins can fix for you. So just keep that in mind. I feel like sometimes I have to tell people we're volunteers, we're not employees. We don't have an onus to you guys to just fix every single thing that you're unhappy about. Although we do try, we really do most of the time try as hard as we can. But there's just some things, based upon the guidelines that T-Bird set for us as admins that we're just not allowed to do.
So, and basically in a nutshell, what this means is we've had players who've inferred or complained that basically if something is not written out in stone, in /info, then it's almost like the legal system of today. Like you can get sued if you don't put a warning label on every damn corner of every damn desk. So we've had players treat us like that, like, well, it wasn't in info, so you owe me. You know, like you need to make this right. Like, no, it's just normal Rust. You did something stupid. You know, we don't. So we can't put every detail of the game in /info. We just can't do that. And so what this basically means is, guys, we're not liable. You know, just because something's not written down in /info doesn't mean we're liable for it. Like, that's not how this works. This isn't the messed up legal system we have today. You know, if you go sneak in someone's backyard and jump on their trampoline and knock 3 of your permanent teeth out of your mouth when you shouldn't have been there in the first place, you shouldn't sue them for that. It's your fault. And yes, that's a true story. All right. Moving on. And no, my parents didn't sue because my parents said, no, we're not going to sue you. Our son was being stupid. And yes, that is a true story. Okay, so moving on. Take the tramp to court. All right. Stealing loot when a raid base is despawned. Drac, you were the one who made the final ruling on this one, so I'm going to leave that to you.
Folks, if someone goes, hey, if anybody want to come over and take my leftovers from this raid, that's fine. But if you're sitting there and you're seeing some Yahoo sitting outside of your raid, waiting for that raid base to despawn to just run in there and grab your stuff, that's stealing. Okay? We've had players that have gone in and gotten, paid 25 KRP for a nightmare base. We've all been there. We've all done bases. We've all broken a box going, okay, the raid base will despawn, bag will fall. That's fine. But if it's not your raid base, you're not locked to it, you didn't buy it, don't go running in there to go and try and steal stuff from the player that has just spent the boom, spent the time, spent the RP to get that raid base. And if you see someone doing this, put a ticket in. Even if we have, even the admin can come and watch, just to make sure, sure, I'll be happy to do it. The other side of that, record. If you see someone sitting outside the edge of your raid base, just, if you have shadow play, turn it on. Record it for 2 minutes. If the guy is, sitting there going, hey, do you have any free stuff I can get? That's one thing. But if the guy then goes running in there screaming like a lunatic and starts looting up everything that he can and then warps out, it goes back to we have no idea what's in those bags and boxes. We have no idea what they took. And if we have zero proof of who did it and anything like that, then there's nothing we can do about it.
All right. Good to go?
Yeah.
All right. So good news, y'all. I've got one note left. We're getting down to the end. So my next note is just discuss wipe length and what goes into picking the dates and the length of each wipe. So I've seen some of the newer people asking questions about wipes. Like, why is this one this one? Why is this wipe that long? Why is this wipe shorter than that one? Okay, so I'm just going to let you dig into the crazy brain of T-Bird and how I decided this stuff. So first of all, we've tried month wipes. We've tried 2-week wipes. We've tried 1-week wipes. We've tried them all. And I'm going to tell you right now, the wipes we're on right now are absolutely the best, if not even a hair still too long, but the best for the difficulty in the play style of our server. This is through lots of experimentation. This is any veteran player can tell you that's been around that long. When we tried the month ones or the 2-week ones, it was fucking. I literally had players offering me real life cash to wipe early. Please wipe early. The wipes they try to be around 10 to 12 days. Sometimes they could drop a tad shorter at 9. I usually aim for 10 or 11, right in the middle, but usually around 10 to 12. And I'm about to explain why and why they can fluctuate and why they change. So, first off, for a wipe, there are 2 days of my life that go completely on hold. I have to be here for PvP day to get it. There is no automated process. I have to literally reconfigure a butt ton of plugins. I have to enable some kits. Now, when I say don't get me wrong, my leads are out there helping me do this stuff too and stuff like that. But you know what I'm saying. I've got to reconfigure a bunch of plugins. I've got to reconfigure a bunch of kits. We have the new player kits for PvP day. We got all this crap. We got to turn off a bunch of plugins. We have to do all these. We have all these announcements that have to go through the chat. So we have to do all this crap, and we have to do it on 4 servers. So that's 1 day of my life just shot out the window. On wipe day, I got to be there 2 hours before wipe. I got to switch everything over to power hour mode, which is a lot like PvP day. I got to unload plugins, reload plugins, load new plugins. I got to reconfigure plugins. I got to reconfigure all the kits. I got to, enable some new kits. I got to do all this other crap. Then 2 hours later, I got to wipe the servers. And remember, I got to do that times 4. And 2 hours later, I got to do all that again. I got to wipe the servers. I got to reset stuff back to normal, because when I bring the servers back online, we don't want them to be, in power hour mode. I got to reconfigure all the plugins. I got to enable kids, disable kids, wipe the server. So you get what I'm saying. 2 days of my life are gone for a wipe, period. So, and what I mean by that is vacations, real life job, my wife, going out, doing stuff with my friends. Everything is out the window for 2 days when we wipe. And we always have 3, 4, sometimes even 5, depending upon the month, 3, 4, or 5 wipes in a month. So that's 6 to 10 days out of every single month that I cannot do anything in my real life. So with that said, I have to schedule wipes around stuff sometimes. I have a wedding. I got a vacation coming up. I'm slammed at work. There's all kinds of things. Sometimes I have to schedule my wipes around. On top of that, I try to always have at least one weekend wipe for you guys. Through years of running this, I've learned Sunday wipes suck because a lot of people aren't here to PvP, obviously. So the lowest population day we have, or the lowest desirability our server has, is on PvP day. Oh, sorry, I had a hiccup. Is on PvP day. So me putting a PvP day on a Saturday is just a huge injustice to the players and my server, because it's just going to kill the population. So I never do PvP days on Saturdays. People hate that crap. I don't mind doing it on a Friday. As people get home from work, they just blow some shit up, go to bed, knowing that they're going to wake up in the morning and have a nice fresh wipe in power hour. So I love doing Saturday wipes, except for the fact that I got to get up early. But I love doing Saturday wipes, so I try to always have at least one Saturday wipe every single month. That's just all there is to it. I just have to base it around my real life schedule and always trying to get a Saturday wipe in there. Now you got to remember, now wipes aren't monthly in the traditional sense of a month. Face Punch does their force wipes. We do our, we consider a month force wipe to force wipe. So for instance, I'm looking at my calendar here. So in September, the first Thursday of the month is on the 2nd, right in the beginning of the month. But the first Thursday of October isn't all the way until the 7th of October. So almost a full week into October before the quote unquote month is over. So in other words, this is going to be a long force wipe month. Some months it's the exact opposite. The first Thursday will be almost a full week into the month, but then the first Thursday of the next month will be like the very first day of the month. So we have a short wipe. So all I really do is I take the first Thursday to the first Thursday. I count how many days there are. Say there's 36. Okay, can I divide that by 12? Oh, I can. So I can have 3 12-day wipes. Oh, wait, but we need to have a Saturday wipe. So that's going to be on that day. So it literally is just a bunch of math of me trying to give you guys the most accurate 10 to 12-day wipe I can give you, yet still keep a weekend wipe in there. And the reason that it fluctuates like that is because if I do like a 10-day and then a 10-day, and then that's only going to leave 5 days left, I'm not going to give you guys a 5-day wipe. So I'd have to, you see what I'm saying? I just have to rearrange stuff like that. So that's why the wipes are the way they are. And sometimes they get confusing. Sometimes you're like, well, why is this wipe only 9 days? Well, because the 2 10-day wipes you had only left me 9 days left in the month. I can't control that. So I try to do the best I can. And that was my last note, other than the fact, well, I had one other one, but we already touched on it. That was the test gens. I think Drac touched on that one. Just remember, test generators right now, one test generator has 3 100 power outputs on it. So that's literally like 3 test gens in one. You can buy them in town, trade windmills for the little small AA batteries. Then you can trade those little AA batteries for a test gen. It's you can't beat it. There's no reason not to have a test gen. So that was the last on that topic. Any leads have anything they want to bring up?
I'll just say the same things I say every single time, but much quicker. If you're interested in helping out, we do pretty much always accept applications, though we do try to kind of stagger it with existing people. Right now, we have 2 new staff, Nova Baby and Badass Milkshake have been doing a great job. We'll probably be looking to bring more staff on soon. I'll post in announcements when the time comes for that, and feel free to apply. And if you've got questions in the interim, you can always reach out to me or put a ticket in the support button. We can talk about it there. Skins, I'm still working on them. This has been kind of my month of break. I haven't really been around as much. We did a big skin update earlier this month. I'm over to do with my second one. You can make suggestions for skins in the skin suggestion channel. I do try to put everyone's skin suggestions in there, with also bearing in mind that we only have so many amounts of skins that we can have. So I can't just load it all down with one type of skin. I try to keep a variation of things that everybody might like a little bit of. And if you've got suggestions for that, just understand that. And what I mean by that is, take the PC out of it, is I only allow so many anime girls per category. So if you add new anime girls, I take other anime girls out. But there's other stuff too. So if you've got skins you'd like to see, just post the workshop link in the skin suggestion channel. And we're still working on the build server, trying to get all that up and running. For now, if you guys have raid bases you want to put things through, use Fortify and submit the JSON to us. We're a little bit behind in that. I know Jenk, I don't know if he's here tonight, but he submitted a few for us to look at. And you guys can get a Fortify link into JSON and just put the JSON there. And yeah, and if you have something that's really good on live that you think we might like, feel free to submit it. I mean, we can come and take a look as long as we're rather quick, but you would probably want to put a support bot ticket in for that so that it doesn't get lost in the raid channel. Finally, just the same thing I always say, you guys are really awesome. It's not as rough to work with such a community like you guys are. You're really nice and calm and patient when we have things go wrong. Like we had some issues with main 1 earlier this wipe. Everyone was really chill about it while we did our work and got down to business, and just really happy to help with a community like this.
Any other leads?
Yeah. My mind literally just went blank. I love when it happens. Oh yeah, shadow play. Get it. Get something to record, guys. Like we keep harping on it, keep reiterating it. Just get it. It's not that difficult. It doesn't really take much computer process to have it running. It can do backwards recording. So if you ever have an issue and you have a video proof of what happened, we are more than likely going to help you. If you have no proof, we're more than likely not going to help you.
And that's not just us being dicks. We don't have a way to. This whole he said, she said crap. Well, there's such and such like did this and they took that and they ran it up and they took this. And we have no way of knowing that. If you would just download the free software that lets you record backwards in time, we would always have proof. And you guys know us. We will definitely take action if we see proof. Yeah. So
that definitely also includes for like monument trouble, right? Like I don't know how many times I've seen people complain, oh, I was on oil rig first and they showed up, and it's like, okay, well, what proof is there? Like, sure, maybe I could try digging into some sort of log file we have that might show who killed an NPC first, but you could have killed that from the water, in which case it's not yours yet. You have to feet first on the monument. So it's like, if you can send me a video, then I can be like, cool, hey, it's yours. You guys leave.
Cool. All right.
But one other thing, we are still looking for raid bases. So if you want to submit raid bases, go ahead. You can make them in Fortify or whatever and send them our way. Send us the file from Fortify. Or if you build one in the world, whatever, try to keep it away from everybody else, out in the wilderness, way far away from everybody if it's going to be big. Or even just let us know that you want to build one. Like, we can work with you, try and get you a location to build one if you want to build one.
And guys, I give you my word, it's not going to have the stuff I want on it, which is what's been taking so long, trying to find the good plugins. I will get some form and semblance of a test server put back up for you guys. I know
it's a boss. I know it's a boss. I just saw your thing. I don't know if Build Sanctuary, if their codes that they give out or whatever that you can download from there, send one to us. We can load it up and see if it works. If it does, then cool.
It works to their Discord where you can then grab the JSON. There's a step to it. I've not played over there, but I know that exists. I know that there's some people who are very familiar with it. I don't know if they're here, and I don't want to volunteer their names for that, but ask around, and I bet you can probably get some.
Yeah, in the meantime, I will get our little basic test or build server put back up. It's not going to have all the bells and whistles. I just wanted to have stuff so you can build a base. Because if you can do it on our own build server, then we can just directly just copy it right into the raid bases. So I will get that up for you soon. I know I've been saying that for almost a month now. Obviously, we've been extremely short-staffed lately, and we've been trying to hammer stuff out with these maps. And I'm going to be gone most of September. I got a lot of real-life stuff going on. So I promise you it's coming, though. I promise.
And one last thing.
Yep.
That I just thought of. In regards to raid bases, if you think a base is too difficult or too easy, if you do, what is it, /RB to get the name, the IDT? I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, I think it's /RB, isn't it?
Yeah, if you do /RB, it should give you the ID for the base. It'll show up when you look at the base. If you take a screenshot of that, submit it to us with what you think the problem is. Like, hey, this is a medium base. It requires me to do this and that, and it's too difficult. Or, hey, it's an expert, and all you have to do is this, and it's super freaking easy. If you send that stuff to us, we can fix the base up and make it either harder or easier based on suggestions.
Cool.
That's
all right. Is it for all the leads? Drac, you good? Drac even here?
He said he had to step away.
Oh, okay. All right, leads. While I'm moving on to the Q&A part, do we want to start spreading out to the servers for the prizes? I'm already on Terminus since I'm one of the few that has admin there.
Hawk and I are here on light.
I'm on
Okay.
2.
All right.
I'm on 1.
Oh, okay.
It's still paper rockets, right?
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do the paper rockets, but just not yet though. Not yet. So don't even bother yet. We got to do the Q&A first. Mac, you want to be in charge of the stage?
Yeah, I'll be in charge of the stage. I'll also
Okay.
be getting on main 2. So.
Okay, so the way this works with the Q&A part is actually, Aliana or Mike, you want to explain that? I don't even know the Discord thing.
Yeah, so the way the Q&A works, right, is I'll open it up to people to want to talk. And you basically just raise your hand saying that, hey, I wish to speak, and I'll select you and say accept, allow you to speak, whatever. There should be, I believe it's at the bottom of the screen, something should pop up allowing you to click it. It might be at the top. I never have seen it.
I think it's down
happened.
here. If you're looking at my
Yeah.
stream, I think it's down here at the bottom here.
But you'll get something on your screen in the main screen, like where if you're selecting the server meeting channel where we're at right now, where we're talking, it'll be on that channel. If you select that, you'll see it there. So I am allowing requests right now.
All right, Bill put a screenshot in, so there you go.
Cool. Thank you for that. So yeah, we got 2 people. I don't know if you want to talk to the first one, T.
Who's the first one?
I'm assuming it's Quetzal.
Oh yeah, you can skip that one for right now. Who's the next one?
It says question the cars. That's the name.
It'd be Quetzal for sure.
Yeah.
No, put him first. He always ends up going first every meeting. Might as well.
Right?
Hey! Hi
What's
there.
up? What's up, Q?
What's up? Woohoo! Hi. Okay. Been a while, but anyways, on to the actual task at hand. If Nemesis isn't gonna say it, then I will. T-Bird, you're a cunt. And that's it. That's it.
Oh, you know what? We're going to pause the Q&A for 1 second because Quetzal touched on a point I meant to put in my notes and I didn't put in there, but this will be a quick one.
What, you want people to call you a cunt more often?
No, actually, but it relates to that. It does relate to that. Look, I'm actually a pretty easygoing person. Everybody on this server, from the newest player to the most veteran admin, talk shit with me, tell me I'm goofy looking, whatever. Look, you have to understand though, just my personality. I don't know, but I'm gonna sound like Cuomo now because I'm Italian or whatever. But I just talk shit. I've always been that way. I'm a smart ass. I'll talk shit with you. I'll jab at you. I'll take pokes at you. I'll make fun of you. That's just the way I am. It's not meant to be mean. Or again, I feel like fucking Cuomo. It's not meant to be mean. I'm not gonna have sexual relations with you. I promise. No. But just listen, you guys take what I do with a grain of salt. I'm a human being. I'm not some HR person. I'm not some CEO that's been running some corporate business for 10 years and I know how to act in the public. I'm just a normal person. I used to be a cop. We got a real thick skin, trust me. My first day I'm a skinny dude. My first day at roll call as a cop, this veteran cop was like, "Look at this motherfucker, little skinny ass with a big head, looks like a blow pop." And I turned around in front of the entire department and said, "You want to see how many fucking licks it takes?" Like, that's just how I am. I just talk shit. Like, but at the same time, I can fully take I can fully take it back. And the reason I'm even touching on this subject is because I've joked with some players before, and they get all twisted and bent out of shape. It's just, look, that's just how I am. I'm a very blunt person. I'm a very frank person. But at the same time, I take it in return. If you want to talk shit back to me, that's cool. But here's the caveat. There's a few things that will set me off. Here's the caveat. If you start insulting my staff, you start insulting my admins, you start insulting my server. That's it. Insult me all you want as a person. Doesn't bother me a bit. Let's talk some shit. Call me names. Make fun of me. I don't care. I love it. It's fun. Don't talk trash about my admins or my server. Period. That's what's going to set me off. I'm sure you guys have seen it happen before, where I'm dealing with someone. Boom, they say something about the server, and I start becoming a real major asshole.
Oh
So
my
I just want
god,
to
this
get
is
that
a
out
shit
there.
server.
Yeah, I just want to get that out there. If you do those two things, all gloves come off, and I'm probably going to be an asshole. But other than that, look, just have fun with me. I don't care. You don't have to kiss my ass. I'm not going to kiss your ass. Let's just all be humans and adults. You know, we're all sitting at a bar just talking and making fun of how terrible the Patriots and Tom Brady are, that kind of stuff. Let's just have some fun. So just want to get that out there.
The biggest thing to tell T always is how bad the Steelers are. So
There you go. Well, that might get you banned, but so
all you have to do is just apologize. As long as you apologize, you're good.
And the reason it even came up is because Quetzal's a kid. He is literally younger than both my children, and just called me a cunt. Like, it's just fun and games. I don't mind that kind of stuff. Just don't insult my admins or my server. That's all I'm asking. Please don't insult those two things. Me personally, I'll take whatever you got and have fun with it. But you got to be able to take it in return too. So that was my speech. Sorry about that, Quetzal. I just kind of hijacked your Q&A.
It wasn't even a Q&A. Love it, man. All right.
All right, man. Let's move on to the next. These people want to see the map.
Quetzal?
Hi, Boomstick.
Boomstick is completely muted.
Yeah.
Fuck you too.
What a great admin. Comes to the meeting and just mutes it all.
All right, that's it. I'll go now. I'll see you guys later.
All right,
Later. Quetzal.
Take care. Hey, everybody in this meeting, make fun of Boomstick later because he muted the entire meeting. Everybody make fun of Boomstick later. Okay.
Could be watching your stream.
Next.
Ethan Chan, you're up. Or Ethan Chan. I don't know how you pronounce your name, man. Ethan, Euler. Should be a button at the bottom of your screen, man.
There should be a button. Or you can type it. Yeah, you can always. Oh, this is the part we got to go into slow mode, by the way. So if people want to type.
Oh, yeah. Let me.
I put it on 5 seconds.
I always put it to 30 because some
30. Oh my god, that's way too much.
Nah.
That's a Nazi.
Hey.
Test.
Yeah, we can hear
Hey,
you.
there you are.
Oh, okay. Now you can hear me. That happened the last time too. Okay, a couple things. One, I'm not sure if this is everybody. I mentioned it. I don't remember which one of the bots it was to. It was the splitter add-on. I haven't seen anything. It's not working, at least for me. It stopped working midway through the wipe, and the quest add-on.
Okay, so sorry.
The splitter one, you toggle that on and off on your own end. I think that you've just toggled it off because if it was not working on a server-wide level, we definitely would have been alerted about it.
I didn't realize there was an on-off switch for that.
Yeah,
Okay,
and you wouldn't be the first. You wouldn't be the first person to accidentally toggle it off. By the way, it happens all the time.
Okay, I'll look for that. What about the quest one?
I'll direct you to our known issues channel.
Okay.
So long story short, quests are buggy as fuck.
Gotcha.
It is a outdated plugin that we use because it's basically just some free loot for doing stuff that possibly could happen.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, that's where I get my paper from my my generators.
There's not much we could do it on our end, but it's there because it's something that people enjoy. So there's only so much we could do with it.
It's one of those things that, like, your car's old and broke down, but hey, at least it gets you from point A to point B type thing. So.
A little bit of toothpaste and dental floss can hold it together. That's all you need.
Some duct tape.
I do want to
Yeah,
call
yeah.
out a couple of people are asking about where we're at with the accept all button. I think that that's something that is actually being worked on and tested right now. We're not done trying to fight it. We're not complacent with the fact that the quest system's kind of buggy, but in its current state, until we have more time to work through it, just understand that it's hit or miss. There's some
Actually,
finesse to it.
let me interrupt you there. The accept all button, I think, is completed. We just have to finish testing. So that'll be good news for you guys.
Cool.
All right, is that it?
The other thing I wanted to kind of touch on, you mentioned it earlier, which was the bases and the base sizes, and I get it. You don't want to set, strict limits, but maybe help us out by giving us, just maybe some rough estimates.
So
That is going to be my pet project next wipe, I promise.
Yeah, Aliana,
Yeah,
that is
so-
literally our
Okay,
top
that's
project
fine.
right now.
That's
so
fine.
yeah, so just as a heads up, and the reason why we don't have like the very distinct like you could only have 100 foundations is this leads into two problems. One, now you get big groups and people now look at that, go, why can't I build as big as that? It's a simple thing, but it's always something that ends up coming up. The other thing that it comes down to is, now, sake of argument, we say you can have 100 foundations for an individual. Now that now we're going to get players who go, oh, I could build 100 foundation base, cool, and they're instantly going to build as big as they possibly can. And that's kind of where we got to look at the detail. What's too big? What's not big? What's this? What's that? And
I
where
get
we
that. I get what you're saying, and I don't want to make a big deal out of it. It's just it gets a little frustrating as a player, and I know it's frustrating you guys. Believe me, told you I had my own servers. I get from the admin side how frustrating it can be, but now me living on the other side, I'm like, wow, I run down the road, make a left, and then there's a base twice the size of of just the simple foundations I had down. You know what I mean? So, it's kind of like, wow, I got singled out, but yet these people have something even bigger. So
It
that's
could
why I'm
also
saying
have to do with how many people they have in there too, though.
Yeah,
We've seen bases with 16 players living in it that are huge, but then we see a base that has 2 players in it that's just as huge, and we're like, yours has to come down. And, well, the other one's just as big. Yeah, well, the other one's got 16 people living in it.
A lot of it has to do with spread. We're more willing to kind of let some of the bases go that are bigger when they're built vertically, because they're not taking up a lot of land horizontally. And I think that's what you're talking about. And then it's also like T said, a lot of times bases, I mean, you don't know who lives there, but we do. And so we can say, okay, well, for 8 people, this really isn't that bad, because if you all had 8 bases and they were, of average size, I mean, that would be 4 times the size of what this big compound you've built.
Yeah, so a lot goes into it basically, but ultimately she's working on I don't want to drag this out forever and beat it even more, but she's working on a major project to give visual guidelines of what we like and don't like. But ultimately, until that's done, the best Band-Aid I can tell you to put on this problem is just ask. We've had players literally open Fortify and lay out a base and send it to us and say, hey, can I build this? Or we've had players lay out just their foundations alone and then call us through support bot and say, I need you to come over here and look at the foundation spread and tell me if this will work or if I need to tone it down some. And we come out and we check it, and then we give them what we want or what we don't want or what's okay, and then they build from there. So there's nothing wrong with just asking, man. We get support tickets all the time.
My thing is, I just don't want to be bugging you guys. I don't
It doesn't
want to
bug us.
be down.
What bugs us is having to get onto you later and pissing off a good player that's now going to leave our server. That's what bugs us. So coming to us ahead of time, absolutely, man. There's some days where some of our staff are even bored. Hawk today came into chat. Is there anything I can work on? I'm bored. Like, yeah. So you're not going to bug us.
All right. Cool.
Absolutely. It just shows us you care, honestly, So, yeah.
Yeah, I told you before, I enjoyed the server. I just, I don't want to be out of bounds with what I'm doing and have you guys have to get on me because, it annoys you to have to do that. And it also annoys
We don't demonize you guys. We understand that people all define things differently, and it's on us to make that a better described thing for you guys. So it's something that we're gonna work to make some more clarity on. And I'm sorry that it's kind of taken as much time as it has. It's just hard to define without being completely rigid.
You can always just PM me, be like, "Hey, stupid, here, follow this rule," Okay, just me, just for me, and I'll follow that rule. Nobody else has to know.
There you go.
I mean,
Alright.
I
the
got
biggest thing, like, if you want to just build a base and just PM it to me, like, I always have time to overlook a base. So,
All right.
Just make sure
Well, I
it's
mean,
symmetrical from
and
active.
the reason,
yeah,
the
it's got to be
reason why I
symmetrical.
went the way I did was because somebody came over and said something to me about building me having to move or them building on top of me or something like that. And I was like, well, let me put this foundation down so I don't wind up with somebody building on top of me before I can get my base down. You know what I
The
mean?
sad thing
And
is,
so I
some
get
players
it.
whatever see others and they just go, "Oh, well, if someone else built here, I'll build right next to them," because
Yeah.
some players are just.
But I
different,
get
so.
why he said what he said. I get why he had me take down part of it. It's completely understandable. You know what I mean? I'm just one of those A-type personalities where I don't like to do stuff wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just me. But okay, look, I'm gonna quit taking up you guys' time. Other people are waiting. Thanks for everything. Really been enjoying the server, man. You guys have a good one.
Appreciate it, man.
Just
Nice
a quick
having you.
call. Head to. Are you guys all in town of your respective servers for the giveaways?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there.
Be sure to head
Yeah,
to
that's
town,
fine, man.
guys, in game to get your prizes for the meeting while we're doing this Q&A. And don't
All right,
forget to raise your hand.
Next we have Evan. We're still giving out prizes after.
Yeah, after the Q&A is done. So don't start giving them out yet.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So you don't have to
Okay.
go to town now. If you guys are out doing something, you can go back. We'll call you when it's time to come.
I'm sorry, Pure Skid.
Evan. Yvonne. I don't know any other ways to mispronounce the name, so. Evan. Should be at the bottom of your screen if you click on server meeting. Or is he typing?
Not type.
Not typing. Not responding. Evan, if you wish to talk, reapply. All right, next one to Ofeta. Ofetfa. Okay, you declined. I'll send it since you just request again. Should be the other button saying yes. There you go.
Am I on?
Yep, you're live.
I'm not sure if this is the same with all the servers. Are there a limited amount of vehicles on the road? Because I'm having a hard time finding one.
No, people just hoard them all.
So Rust as a whole allows 60 cars per map. So what happens is like the beginning of a wipe, you'll probably find them more over than not. But as a wipe goes on, we have, just looking at main one, 470 sleepers and 89 people on. So even if half those cars are currently incenting people's bases, for people that are sleeping, they tend to disappear. This is also why we have the ability to you can buy them and spawn them from /buy/license.
I tried doing that, but it wasn't showing cars. It was just showing boats and horses.
You got to be VIP for cars.
Each rank gives you different things. So like, regular rank, new rank gives you boats and horses. VIP rank at 20 hours gives you I want to say the sedan, so the white sedan car you see driving around, and then also I think gives you a 2-part car. So
And then veteran, you get all the flying stuff and the bigger car.
And you might ask in chat too. Sometimes people are hoarding them because they want to sell them. Other times, they're decaying and it comes up on the road, and then somebody else happens upon it before you do. So, asking in chat periodically can help that people can keep their eyes open as they're running the road.
Yeah, we have players all the time that run car shops. They hoard up all the cars and then sell them.
Yeah.
Or they put it in
We
their
also have
base and then
players
they
all the
stop
time
playing
calling
and their
them out.
base decays and the car goes back on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I've heard somebody call out, "Hey, we found a four thing sedan or whatever." Somebody
Hey,
want
real
it?
quick, while we're finishing up this FAQ, Terminus players only. Terminus players only. I'm going to give you your rewards. Meet me in town because I need to be able to get over to the test server for the map stream ahead of time. So,
TI can just do
Terminus.
Terminus.
Oh, okay.
I
Well, I've already
I'll
announced
put
it, so
Oh,
I'm already standing here with the stuff split up and everything. So, terminus, come line up in front of me at the town warp. It's to your northwest. If you're already in town, I can see all you people over there.
All right. Is that all you had?
Yeah.
Metfa? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your time. Going to the next. Now we have Epic's Infinity.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm sorry if I'm at work. It might be kind of might be noisy. So I have. First of all, I want to say I've never been in a server meeting before, and I like the fact that you can't interrupt and shit until it's over. That's awesome. And also, I would like to give a shout out to Admin Tainted Love for his helping me. I don't know if it was yesterday or day before. He found me dead from dehydration or some shit and gave me my stuff back. I really appreciate that. I was not expecting that, and that was awesome. And then the second or third thing I have, you touched on it at the beginning of the meeting, something about the zombie hordes blowing up stuff. I noticed they do throw C4 and I think frag grenades and stuff now.
Bean cans, yeah.
Well, yeah, but C4 definitely, because I was doing a horde through like 5 of them at me at once. But I was just wondering because did they hurt your base? Is that fixed? Because I had a horde happen outside my base about 5 or 6 wipes ago that threw C4 and blew out the front of my base, and it was all wood.
Yes, I believe they can. They can damage your base. They can damage items in your base and all that. So
by design too.
But it's harder if it's not wood, though. Okay.
Yeah. If you have
Right,
if
cool.
you have like a metal base or a stone base, it'll take more of the C4 for it to actually blow it up. So.
All right. Well, that's cool. I'm glad. Just straighten that up there. Another thing is like you were saying earlier, it's most likely client based whenever you have frame problems and stuff, especially in big built up areas.
Typically, yeah.
Yes, and I noticed you did I think you had downtime. Was it yesterday for maintenance and update and all that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was all servers, or is this just main one, or what?
All 4 servers were rebooted.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I wasn't there for that. I was asleep. But I do want to test it. I haven't been on Zombieland since you did that, so I'd like to go try it out. I just found out my power went out, so I don't know when I'll be back on. But I was having some lag problems yesterday, and normally I don't have that. And I'm thinking that's possibly what it was, or it's possibly because I was in an area with a lot of big ass bases.
Yeah, it's most likely because of the entities. The server itself, whatever, will be running fine, and players will be complaining, "Oh, I got lag," and it's them losing frames because of how many entities are in the area.
And for anybody who has persistent lag, if you search in the announcements channel the word lag, Keeper had put a link to a tool that you can do to run a trace from a ping trace that'll see if there's any network issues. But more often than not, it's just graphical lag because of the entity.
Yeah. And I believe I'll have to find it again, but we had from someone or whatever some graphics changes or whatever different settings that you can turn on or turn off, whatever that might help as well. So I'll try to see if I can find that.
Somebody posted that, and I did the entire tutorial for that, by the way. It was like a month or 2 ago, and man, I haven't had any issues since then.
I've done the same thing, and I get 0 lag.
And as admins, you got to think we're rendering stuff fast because I can zip across the entire map like in a second.
Yeah,
and I'm rendering everything. So, and I haven't had any problems since I did that little tutorial. Somebody posted a real tutorial that actually goes through all the stuff that you can do in Rust to really gain like 30% more frames. It's pretty good. I read it when he posted it, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And I sat there, and I finally said, you know what the hell, I'll try it. And I did. Major improvement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you could find that again, T, we could probably tag that in the announcements with the other lag one.
Or put it in the FAQ.
Yeah, either one.
Okay.
All right, you got anything else, Epics?
I believe one more thing. You touched on the Quest plugin earlier, and I realized that it's not really something y'all control most of the time. Like, for instance, I think the Gather quest, not the Gather, it's whichever one, the Loot quest or something like that. Those don't work. I don't think those have ever worked for me.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff doesn't work.
And then I know that's not on your. But you're saying something about an accept all button. Isn't that that are y'all controlling that, or is the Quest plugin developer doing that?
No, one of our players actually figured out how to do that and has done it
Oh,
for us,
okay.
which is why we're
All right.
testing it right now to make sure nothing.
That's cool. That's cool. Because going through them all the time is a little bit obnoxious because
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
some
Oh,
of
yeah.
them, the
We
button
know.
pops up when you accept one and you can't hit them until it goes away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same with any other plugin that does like that. The one thing that I always have trouble with is the Bushmaster quest because I can never get the Bradley because it accepts two of them the exact same name at the same time.
Yeah.
And for a while, I was having the helicopter not work either. But that one seems to work now. So I think whatever that problem was.
It's hit and miss. I mean, it's weird because sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. Sometimes there's weird conditions, like it only works if you do the vanilla Bradley versus the others. And to be honest, I mean, we just kind of thrown our hands up in the air about it. And again, it's our choices at the point we're at is either take it out or leave it in its broken state. And who doesn't love that free early game blood and paper?
Right. And then the other thing, sorry, I'm trying to put all I can in here because this is my first meeting and I've never really had time to do it for. You touched earlier on the what is it called, the veteran gold, which I have been doing for a while now because I don't have 60 hours to play on the server all the time. I'm either working or sleeping or something like that. I don't never reach 60 hours manually yet. I've gotten close, but not yet. And I like that it's $15 for a month or 30 days or whatever, and then what, 125 for a year.
Yeah.
About. See, I don't have money to spend for Vet Gold right now. Otherwise, I would. But I think it's a great thing. The kit is amazing. The daily voting and stuff. I wish I could remember to do it more because I would be a lot higher level than I am now. I like the server. I'm very, very pleased with the thing like that. Other than that, I don't think I really have any more questions. Other than that, I'm just like giving you a compliment.
Well, we appreciate it. We like the compliments.
Yep. We do have other people though, so
yeah, I'm gonna
got
let you.
nothing else. Yep.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right. Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Now we have Noble Gus. Noble Gus. Should be a button somewhere on your screen, probably the bottom of it.
Milkshake, if you in here, you want to start
There
heading
you are.
over to the test 2?
I'm already on test 2.
Okay.
What you got for us, Noble? Yep.
How ya doing? Nice to meet ya.
You
Hope
too.
y'all having a good evening. I guess I'll just get. This is my first meeting. I want to say an amazing server, especially coming from like Facepunch of official servers and stuff. I've been looking for a decent PvE server so my lady can get into the game. She loves it. I just had a question since I'm still relatively new to the server and how the Z level works when it comes to like the progression and degression after you die. I am currently got the manual 60 hours and got the vet stat. I just wanted to know, is it a bug? Like, let's say when like you're doing an expert raid, correct? And mistakes happen. Sometimes I end up blowing myself out with a C4 or rocket. Granted, it happens. Is it a bug, the rate of how much Z levels you lose after a death? Is that like normal? For example, I was level 15 when it comes to mine. I know it isn't high, but I blew myself up with a statue trying to take out some shotgun traps, and it went from 15 to I believe 10. Is that loss of progress normal, or is that a bug?
I can tell you right now, there's no way you'd lose 5 Z levels out of 15 with one death. So if you type /ZL stats, it shows you exactly what you're going to lose when you die. And the longer you've been alive, the less you lose.
Okay.
I'll say if it does happen and like that does happen to you, it is a bug. And if you get a video recording to us, we can help you out.
Yeah, that backwards recording of that. If you can backwards record me that you had 15 and you died once and went down to 10, and you get a recording to send me of that happening, then
no, that's just
I will gladly put the Z levels back because that's not correct.
Okay, no, it's not. That's not actual. It's a while ago. I'm not farming anymore because I'm just getting all my materials from Nightmare. It was just I noticed that one time I did kill myself. Like you do lose a lot of XP. I just want to know, is that normal?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. There's punishment and death. Death is to be feared.
It's
Most-
more of a question for my lady since she can't make it to the meeting.
Real quick,
because
if I
we-
can just add to one more thing. So, just so you know, you get a free Z-level daily boost from Vote. And then you tend to get 1 free death a day as well. So just in case you didn't know that, I usually, like, after I vote my next death, I make sure it's a strategic one because I know I'm not going to lose any XP for that.
Okay, beautiful. That was pretty much it. Not saying that that's exactly what happened. It's just I wanted to know like the
No,
way it goes down, so I can answer that question for my lady. Other than that, I love the server. It's amazing. I love the fact that it's play to win and not pay to win, like so many other servers, which is just amazing. Just want to say thank you for putting this out there for us.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it.
That's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Next we have them.
I already know what's coming here.
Them.
Hello.
There you are.
Oh, I thought it was
hello. Okay.
Hi, we can.
So, great server. Yeah, like everybody's the same. But all right. So today I was playing, and one of the trivia questions repeated itself and didn't give a prize. That's not normal, right?
Yeah, it's a bug. It's rare. It's
Okay.
basically when it gives the prizes, it's supposed to roll 100-sided dice, and there's we have different stuff in the config for prizes, and every now and then I think if it rolls a 0, it kind of bugs out and doesn't give you the prize.
Okay, cool.
We're aware of it. We're gonna fix it. Not to sound like I don't care, but it's kind of just one of the very low priority things that we're trying to do.
I don't really care about it.
Yeah, it's one of those back burner things. Like I have a to-do list channel in the admin Discord, and you can ask my admins. There's stuff that's been in there for like 6 months. We just have so much other shit going on. Like we got a lot of.
The trivia pulls from a database that we don't control. I know that sometimes there seems to be like repeated questions, and one time I told T, I was like, I'll rebuild it, and he's like, okay, well here's the link. That thing has like 600 pages. I don't know why we tend to get so many repeats. There's a ton of questions in there. And every now and then, a year in later, I still see questions I've never seen before, so it just kind of seems to be weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That's
RNG
the way
systems and
random
numbers, yeah.
the way random number generators work. They tend
Yeah.
to most people don't like configure them to be real random, and it tends to go for the median. So like if there's 600, it'll tend to go for between 200 to 400 or whatever. Like those are the ones that you'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
As well, because we don't control it, whatever. A lot of times, the questions that are put on there, the answer might have like a space at the end, right? And so then, as people are trying to answer or something like that, the answer won't go through because the person who created it put a space at the end of it, and you can't see the space in the question or in the in the answer. It doesn't show the space. So that's one of the reasons why sometimes you'll answer it correctly, and then it doesn't see your answers because you didn't answer it correctly because it's looking for this space at the end or space at the beginning or something stupid like that.
Okay. Oh, good to know.
Yep.
I got 2 more things. So, what's the deal with camping high loot boxes and zones? Because I've
What do you
been
mean?
to wait, I got the game open. I don't remember where it was. In Glass Dome, I think it is. On the top, there's 4 high quality loot boxes, but I find people always camping the spot. Like they're just sleeping there all day.
So
Is that allowed?
If there's a sleeper in a monument, if it's in a puzzle room, Face Punch themselves deletes it. If it's one of the open areas like Dome and stuff, feel free if you want to pop a ticket into us. A lot of times people think there's sleepers up there. Our aesthetic skin for Dome has a sleeping bag up there. It's not a player sleeping bag. We just have that up there for fun. But what I will say about specifically Dome is a lot of players join our server and play for about 30 minutes and then they get bored and leave. And one of the very first things that they do is run to Dome because they're some pro Rust player who knows how to do all the jumps. And they go and run Dome and then they just log out after they're done because they don't want to actually put the effort into learning how to play our server. And so Dome tends to get looted pretty heavily. For other ones, like if you find that there's somebody who is being super, super campy about the loot, like feel free to bring it up to us and we can look into it. If we find that somebody's doing something exploitative about it, we'll take action. But if it's just they're running the content, like we can't really get in the way of that. You got to beat them to the
We have actually kicked people out of monuments before because we've seen them there and they're there for like 2 hours and we're like, yo, you've been here too long. Give others
Sorry
a
to
chance.
interrupt, but in Train Yard, in water treatment, in airfield, and in military tunnels, in the towers that are there, I've seen people for days camping out.
If they're sleeping, it will delete them when they wake up. That's how the face punch deletes.
If it's like one of the end loot rooms, whatever, like with the really good quality
No,
stuff, it normally should.
it's not one of the end loot rooms. It's anything that has a
I've
puzzle.
seen
Oh,
them
is
in yeah, I've seen
Okay, but the point is that Rust won't delete them until they go to wake up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
they're not going to get the loot.
They're not active. They're not active. Okay.
They're not going to get the loot.
So in other
Okay.
words, you know, and this goes the same thing with like Outpost and Bandit Camp. You may see someone sleeping there for 2 days. They won't actually get deleted until they wake up.
Okay.
So, same
You're
thing.
You're always welcome to pop a ticket in and have us check on it. We're happy to look into that kind of
Oh,
stuff. We don't want people gaming things, and we don't want people falling victim to that. But we can only be in so many places at once.
Yeah, I get it. And one last thing. How big is the aggro zone for the zombies and the generic hazmat men?
In the what?
The hazmat people.
The generic scientists, those should be vanilla.
Yeah, we don't know. I don't know exactly what their
I've
aggro
had
range is. So.
If you're talking about blue scientists or heavy scientists, we don't alter those at all.
I've had some of them come from third floors without seeing me, opening doors and just gunning me down.
It's just.
And
Oh, you talking about an oil rig?
No, I went to train yard today and they did that to me.
That's
Yeah.
general Rust AI. We don't have any control over.
That's
how dumb
just
it is
Rust AI?
sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, that's all. Thank you for your time and thank you for the server. It's grand.
Thanks.
Yep.
Glad you like it.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. Next we have Evan trying again. Come on in, Evan. Should be at the bottom of your screen or something. Click to join. Is that at the bottom tier or is it at the top?
I don't know.
I don't know. Someone posted a screenshot, I think. Oh, there's Evan.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
All right, you can hear me. Cool. So I'll try and keep this quick. I wanted to know what kind of control you guys have over safe zones regarding drawn equipment from your toolbar. So things like barn, outpost, because I've noticed quite often you have quite a high density of nodes in those areas, and they're unmineable for that reason. Do you guys have control over what can be deployed in hand, say, picks, nothing like that?
No,
You
we
can
don't.
deploy
We don't
a rock,
have.
though.
Yeah, you can use a rock
Without
and-
a penalty?
Yeah, they won't attack you if you use a rock. I think there's another tool. I think the paddle you can pull out as well.
Okay.
As long
But
as you don't
yeah.
attack anything. If you attack any entity with the paddle, then they'll become hostile and attack you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that answers
But
that.
I'd say if you do see a bunch of like ones that you can't mine like that, shoot us a ticket, and because that's something that we can actually fix on the map and keep them from spawning that close to like bandit camp or an outpost. It's just one of those things, making the maps whatever the where exactly they're spawning around outposts, all that's not high in our list. We're more so fixing holes in the map and trying to make cool monuments.
Okay, cool. That answers that. My second question was, you were talking about submitting raid bases and such. What is the possibility of an alternative style raid base? A group of friends last wipe, we actually made an escape room, and we can see it being a possibility of something that would work as a raid as well. If we were to submit something like that, could there be the possibility of implementing it into the game?
Yeah.
When it comes to raid bases, there's different. So last year we did a big massive overhaul to the raids, and the way that we categorize our raids is based upon their cost of boom. So that's really what it factors into, and it's not something that we share with you, but we do kind of generalize it. If you look in the raid submissions channel, there's a big walkthrough of what we require for each base level. So depending on what kind of content is in your trap base or your escape room, it just kind of depends on which difficulty it's supposed to be. And as long as it fits within those categorizations, I mean, like, it could be an easy base. If it's an easy base, you don't have to have any boom cost at all. But if you're going to have doors that you expect to be blown up, then, understand that. And one other thing, which is
Yep.
just to call out, we have a couple other tricksy bases that if you pay attention and you're careful and you read, you can actually work them out to be less than they cost to go door to door booming the doors down. Players almost always core it out, just so you know, for what it's worth.
Okay.
As well, players don't always like, even if it looks like it's a base that you could do for free, they don't want to bother trying to like do an escape room. Like they're just gonna blow straight through it. It's still cool to have. We love seeing like RP style bases, but just expect that most players are probably just gonna be like, okay, whatever, blow up the wall, blow up this wall, blow that door, blow this door, and oh, there's.
Okay, cool. I just want to say a quick thank you to like all of you guys and T-Bird just for assembling such an amazing team. I have never come across such a dedicated group of people in Rust, and being an Australian player, we're very used to kind of high ping, poor performance servers when we kind of venture out of our region. And I can't count a single time where I've jumped on this server and felt like I was on an overseas server. I think I average about 300 ping, and the performance at the best of times is just flawless. And the experiences are just incredible. So thank you.
Glad you like it, man. Glad you like
Glad
it.
to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you. We'll move on to the next. I'll just say, try to keep it quick, guys, because we still got a lot of people, and we do. I know people do want their prizes and all that. So.
And people want to see the map preview, and I'm
Yeah.
running out of time.
Actually, I'm gonna turn off the request for now. These last few people I got like 8 people to speak, so
Okay.
We'll end with that. Tell them Steve Dave, you're up. Steve Dave. Dave.
Next.
Oh, there he is. If you're talking, we can't hear you. And he jumped out. Okay, we'll grab the next, and if Steve wants to ask again, just shoot me a message. Crackjack, you're up next.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. We can hear you.
Hello, man. Thank you for letting me join in that. And, mine is a minor thing. It's asking about fishing. If you guys are gonna add anything for that, I know not many people do it in that. And that, like, is it going to be added to Z levels or Quest or anything, or no?
It would be up to the developers of those plugins.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing we can do.
Yeah, it's too much time and effort for us to try and figure out. None of us are really developers, and we didn't make those plugins. So.
I mean, I know we customize some plugins, but we spend a lot of money on those things, so we have to usually prioritize which ones we're going to customize, and we obviously got to save some of our money to pay people to fix some stuff, and we just do it based on importance. And yeah, I think it would be kind of neat to have fishing added to Z levels, but it's definitely not something I'm going to be spending money on anytime soon.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to ask. Thank you, and also a great server. I came from another PvE server. Admins were getting overwhelmed because they didn't want to use mods.
Jesus. Yeah, appreciate it. Glad you like it. By the way, real quick on your other topic is if you Google Z levels, I think it's called Z levels remastered. You can actually submit suggestions or questions to the actual developer himself. It's on UMod. It's a free plugin. Anybody can post there. So
right.
More than welcome to submit that as a suggestion. We always update our plugins if they get updated.
Cool. All right. Thank you. I got to figure out how to
Nivix,
get over.
Wait, no, yeah, Nivix, I forgot you took over Z levels, didn't you? I completely forgot that shit. Yeah, he wasn't the original developer of it. That's why I didn't remember that. Yeah, I forgot. So, okay. So our in-house developer now is in charge of Z levels. So maybe he can add fishing to it. There you go. Good idea.
Hey, T, you on Terminus still?
No, I'm on test 2 waiting to do this map preview.
Damn, I was going to have someone blow up Steve Day.
You want me to pop over?
No.
Nah.
Okay. Anybody else want to do the map review? Here?
Yeah, I got 6 more. Ofeta, you again, I guess. I guess you had something else.
Can you hear
Try
me?
to make it quick, guys. Yeah.
Is there a way for a single player to switch off the automatic despawn for the horse?
No.
There's not. If you're trying
Okay.
to farm manure, best is to get them from a stable. People are leaving them out in the
anyways,
roads and
that's
causing
fine.
wrecks and stuff. So
No, it's just sometimes I get off the horse and wander off, and it's kind of weird when I get back and I can't find it, and it's
Just
fine.
type
Okay.
you can do /recall horse or /horse.
Oh,
And it'll bring it to
recall.
you.
Recall.
Yeah,
okay.
what happens is usually I think it's like 10 or 15 minutes, and then the vehicle will despawn. So you could
Okay.
just either respawn it from there, but we in the past had too many. We had horses that were literally littering the world, and people running around trying to grab horses, and it's like, well, why I can't grab this horse? Why? So
As well, they leave it in the middle of the road, and somebody going 90 miles per hour in their car would slam into it and fall into the back.
Yeah.
And did you say you were gonna post that that guide or tutorial on how to turn off the how to fix the glitches?
Yeah. We'll get that posted somewhere for everybody.
Is there a specific place, or do you not know yet?
We'll probably pin it into announcements as well as
And
the
FAQ.
FAQ.
I'll probably do both.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Next, make them quick. Make them quick. Running
Next,
out of time
we
for the map
have White Wolf 6. White Wolf. White Wolf.
Hey, Milkshake. You know I'm on speakers, right?
Can you hear me? Claire?
Yeah.
We can hear you. You're a bit loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how to do that. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you to the admins. You guys do a great job. I love the server. Freaking ever since I joined the server, I've absolutely loved it. So keep up the great work. Granted, even though I'm not on as much as I used to be, but I still enjoy coming on. Another thing for everybody, I always build a dance club around the beginning of every wipe. It's always around town, outpost, or bandit camp. So always feel free to check that out. Always out.
Way to plug your own stuff, Wolf. Love it.
That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
Glad
But,
you like it, man.
That's it. Love you guys.
We appreciate it, man. Glad you like it.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I'll go to the next person. We got Rage 8832. Rage 8832. You're up on the floor. Click accept. There you go.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Huh? Oh, hold on.
And he's
All right, moving on. Let's go.
Moving on. Sasquatch. Brother of Sasquatch. Sasquatch. Should be somewhere on the screen if you're selected in a server meeting. And he's gone. All right. If you had questions, you can type them. Remember that, guys. You can type in the meeting channel, whatever. We'll answer questions there. Maybe man. Maybe man. There you go.
I just had a quick question. I don't know if it was answered earlier. I was at work. Special character trivia questions. Is there a way to fix that? Because a lot of people don't have the special character keyboards.
Sadly, no, not really. The trivia questions come from a pool of like 600 that we don't have control over, really. And so they're like just submitted by like general public or whatever not really anything you can do. That's why some of them sometimes they'll have a space at the end that you don't know that's there, and if you don't type it with that space, it won't get it right.
That's fine. I just it sucks when you know the answer but don't have the special keyboard to do it.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
All right. This last person definitely doesn't matter. Part of TBN. You don't want to talk to them, right? Deathlight, TBN, Chris. And I guess he didn't want to talk.
All right.
I'm scaring him away.
Is that it?
If Deathlight did have something, like he might have accidentally clicked the wrong thing. Yeah,
It looks like he's typing in.
How to answer? What do you mean how to answer? There should have been a button at the bottom of your screen to accept. Oh, is that at the top? So the top of the screen. Okay. I've never seen it because I just joined.
All right.
You still want to ask a question, Deathlight, or
well,
Chris,
you can just type it in chat real quick. For those that want to see a preview of the new map we're working on and some of the new surprises we're working on, now is your chance. The stream has been linked multiple times here in Discord. It's also in our links channel in Discord itself. Now's your chance. Hop in the stream. This is the only chance you're going to get to see the new map. We are going to run through some really neat stuff in this preview. And I'm running out of time, so if you want to get in there and watch this, you better get in there now. I'm going to go type this in the main channel real quick, and then I'm going to get started.
All right, I'm going to open this up to let Deathlight ask his question.
Okay.
I guess he has a two-part question. All right, Deathlight, go ahead and request to speak again. There you are. Sent you the invite. Should be at the top. Should be at the top if you're selected in the server meeting channel where we're all talking right now. If it's not at the top, check the bottom. There should be a button saying like accept or something like that. There you are.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, so this is kind of a two-part suggestion for T and Nivix both. And it falls a lot on the lines of base builds and deployable limits. My suggestion, and being a former server owner for TBN, we ran a server for a long time. One mod that I'm very familiar with is furnace upgrades. It uses the RP system or the economic system to upgrade furnaces. So for however much you put in, as far as RP, you get X amount out per ore. And with doing so, it cuts down on the amount of furnaces that people have around their bases. As well as many of you have probably seen me or Bushwookie have held the architect title for probably close to the last 2 months because of our intricate builds, the castles we build, the stuff that we designed, whatnot. And a lot of what I've seen is people building around us and building these insane towers of windmills, and yeah, we run the furnace limit to 15. You know, we're not going to go any higher than that. But why don't you guys look into doing that as far as running the upgrades for the furnaces, refineries, and whatnot?
We're not going to be installing any more plugins is the problem. We're actually trying to shave about 20 plugins out.
Okay. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's just a suggestion as far as cutting down on deployable limits across all the servers.
No, I agree, but I'd rather have more deployables than plugins.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have way too many plugins right now. I'm not kidding. We have about 20 more than I want to have right now.
Yeah. And another thing I was going to say, too, as far as builds and stuff go, are you guys basing builds on group size?
We consider that as part of our allowances. It's not a full basis, but it's definitely one of the things we consider. And there's other stuff we consider as well.
Yeah. The reason why I ask is because we normally have anywhere from 7 to 8 people total in our group. And housing that many people, you know, like we did our Viking village again this wipe, but typically I try to build a base to house everybody and all of our deployables and stuff like that in it. So that's one thing that I was curious if you were going to try to incorporate into your design, Eliana.
Yeah, it is, and for what it's worth, the builds of yours that I've looked at, there's no way I would allow a solo to have a base like that. So it is something that we look at, but there's a multitude of factors. It's more going to be guidelines, and I'm still kind of fleshing the whole thing out, but I am committing to get it done this month.
Okay, all right. Appreciate it, guys. Just wanted to throw those ideas out there. My opinion, ban freaking windmills. They're useless.
The issue lies in the fact that we get new players who don't even know what a test gen is, and you don't want to punish somebody who just doesn't understand how modded Rust works. So.
Oh, another thing too. Are you going to be doing any kind of economics with the sticks and stuff like that? Are you going to be changing the economics with the sticks, paper, blood, battery, bleach, stuff like that? Are you going to be
at the moment?
Okay. Is there any future plan on it?
Never even been in discussion yet.
Yeah,
Good.
suggestions for something like that you're thinking that might need change, send them to the suggestion bot. And,
give us a compelling reason for suggestions, and we'll take a look.
Well, I mean, the only reason I bring it up is because I've been on other servers where a lot of the older items like the duct tape, bleach, sticks, paper, all that stuff were basically used as currency between players.
That's why we use paper and blood for that.
We end up also using that stuff for things like the events and things like that. So we have something that only we can, that like you'd only be able to get via us.
Yeah. Well, you could do duct tape.
So we do end up using it for things like that. So like I know Maz has done events where, you had to get the thing from the top of the box and bring it all the way down. So silly things like that. So we do need some stuff for that.
Ultimately, we like the currency we currently use because it's got pennies and it's got dollars, which is blood and paper. And then it's also in the vending machines in town, so players can trade for those currencies, and then they can go to town and get the stuff that they were looking for in the first place. It's just a perfect system. So honestly, I don't really see a need to change it. It works pretty good.
It was just an idea. Just something extra to add in there. But all right, appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good evening.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, so I guess we'll move on to giving out prizes.
Yep, and again, announcing, I have started the map preview. The beginning of it, I just kind of fly around and show the map just so people have time to get their prizes and stuff and not have to worry about missing the good, juicy parts of the stream.
50-50,
I do have, if I'm remembering correctly, I've got 3 very cool surprises to show you people tonight. 3 things that are really neat that you've never seen before. So.
It's 50s, right?
Yeah, 50 paper or 50 rockets are the prizes. Only one, and no, they can't switch out different types of rockets. 50 regular rockets or 50 paper, period.
Yep.
I did log in as Terminus for anyone who didn't get that when T was on earlier.
Okay.
Yep. So everybody in here listening to us, make sure you log in, come to town, and on your respective server to get your prize.